the second half. You go receive on your chance. Put your back to the goal. Right, you go back to the goal, okay?
Stores, Health South Sickle Memorial Rehabilitation Center, Metamart Pharmacy, and the City of Moss Point, its employees, the Board of Aldermen, and the Mayor. Jam-packed Dantzler Stadium. It's only the third football week of the season, and there is an excitement here at Dantzler Stadium like we were playing the South State Championship.
No, like you were playing the Super Bowl. This is unreal, Brad, to have this type of crowd this early in the season. As for most people would say, for a game that doesn't mean anything, especially when they come down to the district. But you can tell a little lobbying going on right now in that the Blount band is behind the Moss Point Tigers, and the Moss Point Tiger band was behind the Blount Leopards.
And the Tigers, led by Jarvis Sellers, come roaring out on the football field for the first time in 1997 here at home. You saw the white-clad Leopards of Blount come out from the right-hand zone seconds earlier. Tigers and Leopards tonight from Dantzler Stadium. The Tigers 1-1 so far this season. I believe Blount is 2-0.
Blount is 2-0, Brad, and they have not been scored on this year. Now, one of the things that Moss Point coaching staff is looking at is to stop Blount early. They're going to get the ball first. But since a team has never been scored on in a season and going to the third football game, Moss Point's offense, and I do not believe that Blount can shut Moss Point out. And if they can't shut Moss Point out, and Moss Point can come out, especially the first possession, move the football and score some points, I think they're going to shock this Leopard football team, and they're going to knock them back on their heels, and then they're going to start second-guessing themselves early.
I'm not sure, but we didn't have the national anthem tonight, did we?
Not yet we haven't. I think that everyone is so excited to get this ball game going. I don't know if and the Moss Point band was a little late coming in. This is the first week that they've come in with their uniforms on, and I know they've been saving them. We have not seen the band really perform this year yet. They've been on the trips, but we were in for exciting halftime too. The Blount Leopard band is known throughout the whole country as one of the best high school bands in the land.
Well, the Tigers will get the ball first. I thought they won the toss and deferred to the second half, but it's Moss Point who will get the football first as they drop Keith Tate back deep along with Hayward Jones. And now the fans here at Dantzler Stadium rise for an inspirational moment before the opening kickoff of tonight's football game. Interstate battle between two powers, the 5A champs and the 6A. 5A champs both are.
And this is one of the things that the people in Alabama have really applauded the people in Mississippi for, because in Alabama they don't do a prayer before the ball game because of some people's belief. But I tell you what, when you don't keep the Lord in your life and number one, then no matter how much talent you have, you cannot be successful.
And now the fans remain standing for the national anthem. We'll take a break right here and listen to the Moss Point Tiger Band and the national anthem here from Dantzler Stadium, the home opener for the Tigers in 1997. Rocky.
You saw it.
I saw a lot of things, but I know that the band from Blount was sitting in the stands across from us before this game started, and they are now in the end zone.
Move some bleachers in for the band real quick, but even more so, if you look over on the Blount side behind the 10-yard line, people have climbed up on the garage building that the tractors and all of the equipment is used, a la Wrigley Field in Chicago.
And so here we go. It's the home opener for the Moss Point Tigers, 1-1 in 1997. The defending 5A champions beat Alabama's 6A champ last week, and now they get Alabama's 5A champ this week. Everybody on their feet, and here is the opening kick. It's an end-over-end kick that sails to the 30-yard line is where the ball is down. Tavares Lee was the one who fielded the kick. The Tigers had 5 men trying to field that high kick, and Moss Point starts 1st and 10.
Everyone from the Moss Point Tigers wanted the football early to try to put some electricity in the football game, and evidently what the officials did, they just turned them around backwards. It's excitement for the officials as well, and one of the things some of the people asked me about coming in here was the officiating in here, and I tell them Mississippi has the best officiating than what we've seen. Many places we go, we don't think it's as good, but Mississippi, these men do a great job week in and week out.
Kelly and Sellers 1st and 10. Jones in motion, handoff is to Cisco with room, across the 35, across the 40, and out to the 43-yard line, 13-yard gain on the first play from scrimmage, and he was that far from going the distance.
And they have a great defense with DeMarco McNeil, number 58, and number 81, Robert Malone. Those are the 2 best people, but I can tell you, as they stand straight up, and if the Moss Point linemen stay down on their knees, then Cisco and Jarvis is going to have a lot of room.
Armstead and Jones are the receivers, the tight end Smith up behind Fant, and on 1st down, the handoff is to Cisco, who gets out to the 47. That's 5, skin down 5.
And early, that's what you want to do. You want to keep Blount's offense off the football field. Cisco's running the football, but the good blocking at the point of attack by Marcus Washington, Elgin Williams, Paul Robertson, and Tavares Armstrong, the left guard, who pulled around the lead Francisco.
Don't leave Carlos James out, number 79, 2nd down, 5 Tigers. Handoff is to Sellers right up the middle. Sellers gets out to the 49-yard line, 3 yards short of the 1st down.
And that's what you call keeping them honest. Right now, Blount is trying to stack the line of scrimmage, trying to play that box 7 right now against the Moss Point offense. They know Moss Point is going to come in and run the football. Ben Harris was an offensive mind at Alabama State, and he's been an offensive mind here at Blount.
Number 81, Robert Malone, is a very tall defensive lineman on the right side for the Leopards. Fant will call an audible on 3rd down and 3. Just starting this football game. And Fant gets the snap, but a lineman jumped off sides. Calvin Poe made contact. It'll be 1st down by penalty.
And that's the easy way to go ahead and get it. That takes a lot of pressure off of Kevin Fant early in this football game. 58 is DeMarco McNeil, the lineman who jumped. Very aggressive. In talking to some of the players and coaches, they say that he's another almost Muskegon born. The only thing is he's nasty. He likes to hurt people.
Tommy White and Jeremy Matthews, 8 and 4 respectively, are the receivers for Fant on 1st down 10. The handoff is to Cisco, trying the left side this time. And Cisco got about 3 down to the 43-yard line, 2nd down 7.
And those 2-3 yards of pop, eventually, you can believe it. You keep them on the ground, you're going to make that defense get a little winded. Fake that ball in, that's where a tight end becomes very, very effective on plays, because right now they're only playing a safety in the middle of the football field. The linebackers are crowding the line of scrimmage.
2nd down 7. Jones in motion right to left. Fant will pitch to Sellers, tries to the left side, and he gets stopped for a loss. He lost 1 on the play, and it was that large lineman, Robert Malone, who made the tackle.
Scouts are saying that he is probably one of the best, not just recruits in the Alabama and the South. He's probably one of the best recruits in the entire nation, and they look for him to be one of the first young men picked in by colleges are selected in the recruiting wars.
Well, he's got to be about 6'5", 250, 260, wouldn't you say?
Oh, at least that. I stood next to him. He ate soup off my head.
Fant back to pass, pressure, throws high, and just missed. Jones at the 36-yard line. It would have been a first down. I actually think Jones leaped just a little early. I think if he would have kept running, he could have gotten there.
Could have got there. And you could tell the respect early in the football game for the Blount Leopards offense, and that Coach Alexander did not even hesitate to send in his punting football team.
And so the Tigers will punt it away on 4th down and 7. And that means James Nettles, number 12, drops back into punt formation. 2 Leopards are back deep.
Kick it away from number 4.
The Nettles punt is high, very high kick. Good coverage kick. Bounces at the 20, takes a Tiger bounce inside the 10, and goes into the end zone. Ends up being a 44-yard punt, maybe the best punt James Nettles has ever kicked as a Moss Point Tiger.
And Elmo Hawkins was there. The coaching staff was going to, Elmo, you need to turn around and locate the football. Elmo was there, but you did not know what was going to happen with the bounce. Located in the air.
And now it's Blount, starting from the 20, 1st and 10. And a penalty flag before anything even happens. Gives us a chance to set the Tigers' defensive front. J.M. Mitchell, number 55, with Lakeith Grace, number 97. 83, of course, is Broderick Nettles. Tigers linebackers, Kendrick Vivens, number 9. Number 98, Cornelius Borden. Trotting in is Joseph Creer. Tigers bringing in all sorts of people.
No.
We find out from the truck that the Tigers, one of the linemen, has some sort of piece of clothing or something that is not supposed to be worn in a football game. It's a 15-yard penalty, and the Tigers give Blount first down from the 35.
And I don't know what, it was actually 2 ball players for Morris Point, because both of them, they're working feverishly on the sideline to get whatever that equipment is repaired, taken care of.
They're saying the shield that they're wearing on the helmet is supposed to be clear, and the Tigers' helmet shields weren't clear apparently. And on first down, Tyrone James, the quarterback, draws a Tiger offside.
Not a very good start for the Morris Point defense. Blount had the ball at the 20-yard line. They've moved the ball 20 yards and have not, the ball has not been snapped one play yet.
So now from the 40-yard line, it's first down. Raheem Franklin is number 20. And he is the tailback behind James. First down, it is Franklin who gets the hand up, and he scoops his way across the 45-yard line, brought down by Kelsey Bolton, number 92, but a 6-yard gain and a first down.
Very quick. I mean, at the point of attack, he just exploded at the point of attack. And Morris Point now has all of the intended starters for the defense back in the football game.
Cisco Kelly is at one corner, Kenny Johnson the other. The Tigers safeties are number 27, Marcus Woodson, and number 12, James Nettles. First down, 10 from the 45-yard line for the Leopards of Blount. 8:15 remaining in the first, no score. The handoff is the fullback who fumbled the football, but got the ball back and actually gains a yard on the play. A penalty flag on the near side of the field.
We got a penalty flag way down here at the bottom in front of Morris Point, in front of the Morris Point bench. It has to be a procedure or something. Yes, it is.
Antoine Lott, number 30, never got the handoff. He bobbled it and somehow was able to pick up a yard, but it's negated by the 5-yard walk-off. It should be forthcoming.
Cornelius Barton, the captain for the team, is looking over at the coaching staff to see if they want to accept the penalty, and Coach Jackie McCarver is telling them to go ahead and take the 5 yards.
So we actually have a quiet moment here at Dantzler Stadium. And now not only are they standing on the maintenance shed, now they're standing over on the locker room. I think they're being told to get down, though, because they're heading, it looks like, off the roof here at Dantzler Stadium. 1st and 15. The quarterback back to pass across the middle. It's tipped and nearly intercepted. Kenny Johnson cut right in front of the pass intended for DeAndre Green and made a beautiful defensive play.
That was great coverage. Tyrone James, the quarterback for the Leopards' greatest asset is his feet. He gets back very quick. Doesn't really like to run the football. Doesn't throw that great on the run. So that's what the defensive coaches Morris going to try to do, is put a lot of pressure on him, make him run out of the pocket, have to throw on the run, but keep containment at the same time. The defensive ends, Grace and Nettles for Morris Point, have a big game. They have to have a big game to keep James in the pocket.
They go to the 4-receiver set here with one back, and that's the fullback lot. Behind the quarterback, James. 2nd 15. And back to pass is James. Rushes on, he throws outside, and it's incomplete. And boy, the pass was high and it was not catchable, but Kenny Johnson needed to be looking because he could have stepped in front and gone.
Well, I think Kenny saw it. Kenny saw the ball was high, and Kenny Johnson, when he made his break, if that ball had been down, Kenny Johnson would have put that ball down in the end zone. And that you could tell again that James is a good quarterback, but he has nervous feet too. He has not seen the kind of pressure that the Tigers' defense is going to probably put on him tonight. Robertsdale was not that good a football team, and Williamson evidently not that good a football team. Both lost, let Blount score over 40 points against them, and they didn't even cross, probably didn't even get into the red zone all night.
Again, the 4-receiver set. Tigers running with their base defense here on 3rd down and 15. Penalty flag comes down. That'll be a delay of game penalty as it's the back judge who throws the flag, so it'll be a 3rd and 20.
And that's what's so important about that fifth official, because the guys on the side, the umpire, the referee, they have enough responsibility and to be able to catch that. That's a lot larger than what a lot of people really give credit for.
3rd down and 20, so the Tigers gave Blount 20 yards in penalties, and now Blount has gone 10 yards backwards in penalties.
I'm real anxious to see the Blount punting game tonight, Brad.
As am I, Jackie, as am I. Back to pass, James. Tigers put pressure on up the middle. He gets away from it. Penalty flag is down. There will be a holding call. James still on his feet. Brian Simon finally makes the tackle at midfield. It'll bring up a 4th down and 5. But this one's coming back. Holding is the call, and Jerry Alexander is already pointing. Send him back.
I definitely take the penalty. You put them back, and you make them have to get about 35 yards for a 1st down. You definitely take the penalty on that. But that's where it's got to be important for Morris Point. With James scrambling, Morris Point has to leave what they call a spy in the middle of the field. And it has to be someone with speed and can be a good tackler. Cornelius Barton is usually that man that can keep up with James.
Let me tell you something. This doesn't look like the same Moss Point team we saw the first 2 weeks. There is a lot of life on both the offensive and defensive lines right now. They are blowing off the football.
Well, the adrenaline that's been pumped all week, they know what's been said in the streets, and they know that when this game was signed, Blount has been sending all kind of, like Florida's been doing to Tennessee, they've been sending all kind of little rumors over here of what they're going to do to the Mississippi State champs.
It is 3rd down and 35 yards to go. And so Blount sends 3 receivers near side. 1 is wide to the right. 1 back, and that is Raheem Franklin. Man in motion left to right. James runs draw play to Franklin. Tigers ate it up, and Kendrick Vivens makes the tackle at the 22-yard line. 2-yard gain. It's 4th down.
I don't think, based upon the scores that Blount has this year, I don't really believe that they had an opportunity to really punt the ball too much this year. And Morris Point probably should come out of this with good field position around midfield, I would really believe.
DeAndre Green, number 86, is the punter. The Tigers send Nettles and Armstead back to receive the green kick.
What about a bad snap?
We learned in a couple of NFL games as the left-footed kick is a spiral that bounces at the 45, takes a bounce for Blount inside the 40 to the 37, where it is down. I was going to say we learned in 3 different NFL games this last weekend that special teams means everything.
Well, I know the Philadelphia Eagles and Coach Ray Rose is sick about the game with the Cowboys. A fumble snap on almost an extra point that would have given Philadelphia the win.
Same thing with New England against the Jets when the Jets had a field goal of 22 yards blocked. And we have a heat timeout on the football field. We take it with 6:16 remaining here in the first quarter of play. No score from Dantzler Stadium. You're watching Tiger Football 97 on Marcus, Cable Channel 13.
I had no fear. The biggest linebacker, the fastest corner could touch me. The end zone, I owned it. I never saw it coming. I'll never forget the noise, and I'll never forget the pain. My future was at stake. I wanted the best. Health South, surgery, rehab, and hours of hard work. But now I'm back, ready to rock your world. Give me the ball.
Welcome back to Dantzler Stadium in Moss Point. No score between Moss Point and Blount. It's the home opener for the Tigers, who went on the road to Louisiana and Alabama and came away with a 1-1 record. What a homecoming this is, and it isn't even homecoming. It's the season opener. What a crowd, what a game we have for you. Fant under center. Tigers begin their second possession and drops back to pass, has time, throws to the outside, and Armstead in and out of his hands at the 47-yard line. The pass was just over his outstretched arms.
Just a little bit over, but Moss Point really need to take advantage of the Blount speed, and by that I'm saying that they're going to be coming hard at the line of scrimmage. They don't do a lot of stunting. They just come straight at you with strength, but especially McNeil and Malone. And that's where you can sucker them into a screen or look, swing a running back out of the backfield.
Well, you can tell that Blount had this game well scouted because they've covered the out pattern on both possessions, both passes the Tigers have tried here. White in motion, second down. They give it to Sellers on a little misdirection. He finds a hole and it gets across the 45 to the 48-yard line. That's 11 and a Tiger first down.
The best way to neutralize a big, strong offensive lineman like Malone and make good penetration, you send the off guard and you trap him, and that's exactly what Moss Point did. They sent the off guarder over, and Mr. Tavares Armstrong put it 7-8 right between 8 and 1 and knocked him flat on you know where.
6 minutes ago in the first quarter of play, as you try to figure out where is, the Tigers try to get across midfield. Fant on first down, drops back, sets, fires high, wide open is Smith at the 35. Smith with a move at the 30. Smith fights his way to the 20-yard line. Sammy Smith gets 32 and a Tiger first down.
With Blount trying to give up and put penetration in the line, Kevin Fant stood right in the pocket to the last second, delivered a strike. You couldn't ask anything, but in high school and in most football, the tight end is the hardest man to cover on every play. People give up on him. They try to cover him with a linebacker, and Sammy Smith has been a big wheel for the Moss Point Tigers.
Adrian Marsalis will replace Smith here after a 32-yard reception. Tigers first and 10 with Jones and Armstead receivers. Tate in the game along with Sellers. The handoff is to Sellers, who is hit immediately and dropped for a 1-yard loss. And again, it was that huge defensive lineman.
Big Robert Malone, he just crashed the line of scrimmage.
Well, let's go back 2 plays here on Marcus Cable Channel 13 as Candy Video tries to cue up a replay of the pass from Fant to Smith. We'll look at that after this second down and 11 play, a 1-yard loss for Sellers. Fant back, rushes on. Fant now has to roll out of it. He throws downfield and the pass is intercepted. There is a penalty flag on the field. It's DeAndre Green with the INT. And Green down the far sidelines. And Green still on his feet as it crosses midfield and gets to the 48. But we'll see what the flag is back in the 23-yard line.
You could almost bet right there it's got to be offensive holding. Let's hope it's defensive holding on one of the receivers against Moss Point.
It is, according to Jones, against Blount, and it is a personal foul penalty against Blount. Wipe out the INT. The Tigers are in business.
And that, for the sports fans, was not a late penalty. Before
it came down early.
While Kevin Fant was going, it probably was on the wide receiver. It probably was a chuck to the head. That's the only thing that you can say. And that's what you don't like about some of the high school and college, that you don't really get an opportunity to see it.
There's the move by Sammy Smith a couple of plays ago as they got down to the 20-yard line. But as Fant was rolling left, the penalty flag was flying in the air.
Yeah, so it was not a late flag. The flag came out very early. You know the only thing about it in a ball game like this, no matter what's called, it's a bad call. Officials wouldn't be out there if people played perfect, you wouldn't need officials.
The ball is sitting on the 11-yard line. They go half the distance to the goal on the 15-yard penalty. It's an 11-yard walk-off to the 11. The Tigers have it. Well, they have it at 2nd and 1, but I would think a personal foul should be 1st and 10, shouldn't it?
But I think Blount coaches are trying to get a timeout because they want to figure out what. I know they want to question the officials on it. I know the referee went over and talked to Coach Ben Harris, and that's what they're trying to get another clear definition right now on what happened.
All right, so we'll take a timeout as well with 4:35 left in the first. No score here from Dantzler Stadium.
Cash and check has never been so simple as you'll find at A&B Check Cashers. We cash checks, we make photo IDs, you can even pay your Bell South telephone bill using our convenient drop-up window. We fax, we make copies, we order birth certificates, and you can even wire money any place that you wish. But mostly, we cash checks. A&B Check Cashers, 4519 Jefferson Street, Moss Point.
Feeling tired too often? Have you lost the energy to see you through the day? Does having to eat on the go all of the time make you one of many with poor, unhealthy eating habits? At day's end, you find yourself restless and just can't get a good night's
One here in the first quarter of play for the Tigers at the 11-yard line. Apparently the personal foul does not carry with it first down yardage anymore. Cisco Kelly is back in the game and asks for the crowd to make some noise. Fant will hand off to Jarvis Sellers, who got to the line of scrimmage and then was bounced back, and you never see Jarvis Sellers get bounced back like that.
Blount defensive line is strong, and they are quick, too. This is probably two of the quickest football teams that we're going to see on the field at the same time all year.
No gain. He may have actually lost a couple of inches there. It's now 3rd down and a long yard for the Tigers at the Blount 11-yard line. Armstead and Jones left and right. Sammy Smith is strong side right. Fant sends Jones in motion. And the pitch goes to the handoff to Cisco. Cisco finds a hole, gets across the 10. And down to the 5, he got 6. And it's 1st and goal.
And Brad, I wanted to say, if Cisco has a quick drive and he's a stronger runner, tall runner, he can see a little better. If he could they could just dive it right behind, not outside where Malone is. If you look at the defensive line for Blount, I don't know if that's number 91 or what, but he's a little small guy. Right on the interior of the defensive line, they are small.
1st and goal from the 5. And the handoff is to Cisco, and Cisco is driven down at the 4. He got 1. It's 2nd down.
That's where Kevin Fant pushed the ball in and rolled right. He had Jarvis Sellers. We don't really run the option, but that's where you run your tight end on a little out pattern right there. And you make the defensive back have to either come up and play the option, or if he plays the option, you throw the football. If he doesn't play the option, he come up and still stay on the defense. The quarterback runs the football in for the easy touchdown. Moss
Point has had the ball for all but 2:25 of the first quarter, and it's 2nd and goal from the 4. Jones in motion, pitch to Cisco, touchdown, Tigers, no. He got to the goal line, and he was driven down there. I thought he was cutting back and getting in, but there was a hit made, and it's 3rd and goal.
Good. Now, see, that's the change from last week. Coach Bill Lee and the offensive staff, they knew that Blount's coaches saw the pitch to Tommy White all week last week. They gave the same action, but they pitched it short to Francisco.
Now Armstead and Jones left and right. Fant will call an audible. 2.5 to go in the first. Fant under center. He fumbled the football. Penalty flags are down. I think Fant may have recovered, but I'm not sure.
They gave it 10 yards, but we're getting some bad luck with snaps, don't we?
We have an offside penalty, though, against Blount. And the coaching staff, somewhere in here, not very happy.
Not at all. Again, the only thing that calls you about that is that most offside is supposed to kill the play anyway.
And so another timeout called, this one by Moss Point with 2:28 remaining in the first. The Tigers on the doorstep.
In his clear resides, opponents believe with strong know that complications of flu and pneumonia is the sixth leading cause of death? Did you know that vaccines to help prevent...
It is third down and less than one for the Tigers. Fant under center. He sneaks in. He tries to get in. Second effort, third effort, and they won't put him in the end zone. It is fourth and goal. What a stand by Blount there.
You have to go for the touchdown. You make Blount have to go 99.5 yards. It's not even...
And you got your senior leadership, Cisco Kelly, getting the crowd going, along with Jarvis Sellers, two seniors, firing up the crowd. Everybody's on their feet on both sides of the field.
You need to hurry, though, because it's going to be a 5-yard penalty if Moss Point doesn't hurry.
What atmosphere. Fans on 4th and an inch. Fumble the snap again. And Blount recovers on downs.
Something you don't expect as much on the third game of the football season is to have two bad snaps that quick, that far close to the goal line.
Kevin Fant a bit anxious. And so it is Blount from the 1-yard line. With 1:44 remaining in the first quarter of a scoreless football game. Tigers got a couple of huge breaks on that drive, but it's Blount who stood up at the end and still has not given up a touchdown this football season. I formation behind James, and a penalty flag comes down like it really matters. It's delay a game, but you can't move the ball more than about an inch.
They're first down at 10 yards and 6 inches, huh?
And over here at the 38-yard line in front of us, Robertson and Fant talking about the bad snaps, and I actually saw Robertson point to his chest like it was his fault.
Well, the only thing, that means that there's a lot of nerves in there. You want to get in there so quick and make your block. Paul just needs to relax.
James under center, I formation, maybe a safety here. Back to passes, James, he's going long. Fires it downfield, incomplete. Oh, man, he had Kennard Williams open, but he overthrew him.
And Coach Kirkendall says that 2 out of every 3 plays, you almost expect Blount to throw the football. Most of the points Blount have scored have been in the air. They run the football late. They try to throw the football early, and the Blount quarterback, Tyrone James, has a howser. He can throw the football.
That play took all of 1 second, if you can believe it. Second and goal from second and 10, I should say, from inside the 1-yard line. This time they hand off to the fullback, and Lott carries tacklers out to the 2. He got 1, and it's third down.
The Blount coaches on the first play, when they sent Kennard Williams on the fly, they realized that Francisco Kelly had been in on the offensive side. They wanted to take advantage and hope that Francisco's the win, and they threw the ball long. Tyrone James was just a little long throw, but we know Kennard Williams was open.
And now another timeout. The second timeout called by Blount here in the first quarter with 1:12 remaining. We're still scoreless here at Dantzler Stadium on Marcus Cable Channel 13.
Did you know that complications of flu and pneumonia is the sixth leading cause of death? Did you know that vaccines to help prevent flu and pneumonia are available? Did you know that if you have Medicare Part B, the cost of flu and pneumonia vaccines are free? If you're 65 years of age or older, have heart disease, lung disease, diabetes, or any other chronic illness, then you should have the flu shot. Get the flu shot, not the flu. Phone Medimark Pharmacy for more information. Safex pharmacists have been serving Jackson County with
1:12 left here in the first quarter. This is an electric football stadium. The Blount fans that were sitting on the maintenance shed, well, most of them have apparently been asked to get off it because there's only about 5 left, but now they've sort of spread out. They're on more buildings.
Well, they're steady moving. They may be off the building at the locker room for the visiting football team, but they are still climbing up on the other building. And that's one more reason that we need to really consider a new stadium. But Brad, One of the things that Luca Kirkendall, the defensive coach of Morris Point, and they have is he has been the sponsor for the Fellowship of Curious Athletes, and they have a meeting on Tuesday afternoon at the Pascagoula City Library, 923, for all adults that's interested in being a part of that fantastic group.
3rd down and 9. Penalty flag comes down from the near side official. We'll see who lined up offsides.
It appeared the tight end for the Blount Leopards. He came in, but they said illegal procedure. But once you put your hand down as an offensive lineman, you can't move. You just can't move. And then you may say that, boy, Blount's getting a lot of penalties, but see, Blount's getting a lot of pressure on them tonight that they probably haven't seen the first 2 ball games. And that will make anyone become a little unnerving.
They've got 2 receivers, 2 linebackers. James back, he's rushed. He throws the ball far down the field. It's incomplete. Tigers had triple coverage on the outside receiver with Marcus Woodson, the closest defender to the football. The Tiger fans in front of us stand up and cheer the defense.
And the best thing about that defensive stand was Broderick Nettles, 83, to keep Grace, 97. The defensive ends maintained. They kept James in the pocket. James appeared that he wanted to start dancing and run the football, but since they stayed at home, they forced him to have to throw the football.
So Green will punt it from the back of his end zone. He's got to be careful he doesn't step on the end line. That's how close he is to it. The Tigers send Sellers and Armstead back, and here's the left-footed boot. It's a wobbly kick that sails to Nettles. One bounce, he takes it at the 40. Nettles looking for running room. He's at the 35. Nettles at the 30. Down to the 25 and thrown out of bounds at the 23-yard line. The Tigers are just 23 yards away from the end zone with 52 seconds left in the first quarter.
This is where I think that Blount, you come out against Blount, especially with Jason Armstead, you run out, you pump fake it, and you let him turn up the field, and you try to hit him down the sideline. Out and up right now with Jason Armstead would be the play I think that would give you an easy 6.
1st down and 10. Tigers go I formation with Keith Tate, the deep back this time. The fullback was Cisco, and Cisco throws a nice block to get Tate inside the 20 to the 19.
Well, Cisco is a true football player. In the article I saw in the Sun Herald last week, he stated again, we talked about it last week, that some people, after he wasn't really the starter last year, after 1,000-yard rush as a sophomore, he should get down. But he said he's going to do everything. He's a team player. He's going to do anything to help this football team win ball games.
Final 20 seconds of the first quarter. Fant hands off to Cisco. Cisco breaks a couple of tackles. He didn't know what to do. He made some great moves and was still on his feet at the 15-yard line, 2 yards short of the first down. And that should be how the first quarter comes to a close. It's been an exciting first quarter of play with the Tigers having the scoring chance. But after one, we are scoreless between Moss Point and Blount on Tiger Football 97.
Safex pharmacists have been serving Jackson County with 6 locations for over 30 years. Competent pharmacists provide professional services where the well-being of each patient is their primary concern. Shop our newest location in Escatawpa for individualized professional services and enjoy shopping our gift and cards department at your home-owned Escatawpa Safex Pharmacy.
In this ever-changing world, it's comforting to know that some things stay the same. Singing River Federal Credit Union has served our members for over 43 years. We offer a complete selection of financial services. As we embark upon a generation of new technology and services, be assured that we will always be here to meet your needs.
We are proud of our history, and we are excited about our future. Come grow with us. We are Singing River Federal Credit Union. People helping people.
I started volunteer in 1971. Basically, I'm a
outset of this football game that Moss Point had to control the football. Well, Moss Point had the ball 8 minutes and 43 seconds of the first quarter, only giving Blount 3 minutes and 17 seconds to do something with it. Blount 9 yards and no completions.
Now Moss Point has to put something on the board now to make it. It doesn't do any good to control the football if you don't put something on the board yourself.
3rd down and 2 for Fant. Handoff is to the second back through Cisco Kelly, and he got one of the 2, and it'll bring up a 4th down.
I almost think you have to go for it again. I don't know. And they're going to measure for it just to tell Morris Point just how short they are. But
now he's not measuring. He's trying to get some people back to the 30-yard line. The official on the far side, as soon as the play was done, he didn't mark the football. He turned around and told somebody he had to get back to the rest of the football team.
Okay.
I think one of the coaches.
Well, that's the people that trail. That's one of the new rules that we heard about last week about sideline decorum. You can be on. They could be on the track to tell the coaches, and that's what many people do, so that the coaches know about how far to go.
4th and a long yard. Moss Point will go for it from the 14-yard line. Handoff is to Cisco. Kelly's got the 1st and more. Cisco to the outside. 10, 5, touchdown. Tigers want to run by Cisco Kelly.
And that was one that he definitely earned. He dipped, dodged, and did everything that he had to score. And you see that burst of speed? Cisco put a burst of speed on the end, and he just outran the defensive back for the Blount Leopards, and he had the angle on Cisco.
And you know there are several college scouts in attendance tonight who saw that and marveled at the athletic ability and the feet of number 10. And speaking of feet, now we watch him put the shoe on as he tries to kick the extra point.
Mr. Versatile.
Ball is down, and that kick is high, straight, and good. It almost makes it to the Moss Point Tiger State Championship sign.
It said no good.
Oh, no good. Must have been wide left.
He said wide left, but it appeared when he first hit it, it appeared to go straight, but the Blount Leopards, for the first time in 1997, this 1997 football team have been scored on. We have to see what they have now to come back from a couple of bad things that happened to them. The number one is they had a apparent interception, but a personal foul against them, and then the short punt, they got caught deep in their own end of the field after Morris Point did not score on a 4th down and less than a football length to get the touchdown, but Morris Point got back to good field position, good punt return by James Nettles, and Morris Point was not going to be denied on that 3rd series of the night.
4 plays, 23 yards, 126 off the clock, the final 14 dramatically by Cisco Kelly, who now has the ball on the tee at the 40.
And everybody this week was talking about Cisco's coming out party. That Jarvis has been getting a lot of the yards. Of course, people have been concentrating on Cisco, but you just knew that Cisco's too good a football player not to take a ball game and take control of it himself.
Williams is the deepest of the Blount Leopards. And there's the kick. It's high and short, and Williams comes all the way to the 17 to corral it. Kennard Williams was nailed by Marcus Woodson, who put a helmet right into him and put him down in his tracks at the 24.
Mr. Woodson came back and made certain that what happened several weeks ago was not going to happen again, because when he hit him, that was just boom. I mean, he stopped on the spot.
That Leopard lost his spots on the tackle at the 25. James brings out Blount. First time all year, Blount has been trailing in a football game. It's 6-0 after the missed PAT. And on 1st down, the handoff is to Franklin, and Franklin cannot escape Jesse Mitchell's tackle at the line of scrimmage.
JM came in, and JM said before this football game, everybody talks about Malone and McNeil. Well, there's a Mitchell over here that can play football. He wears the double nickel, just JM Mitchell. And JM knows that he has the control. If he could control the line of scrimmage, he and Kelsey Bolton, that's going to allow Lakeith Grace and Broderick Nettles primarily, Brian Simon and Cornelius Barton, Kendrick Bivens, the linebackers, to roam free.
Green comes near side, and Williams goes wide left, I formation, 2nd down and 10. James play action, drops back, he has time and throws to Williams, and he overthrew him by about 2 yards at the 40-yard line. This guy's got an arm. He just can't make a connection right now.
And Brad, I don't know how we missed him on the rush. It appeared that Keith Grace was right there to be able to sack James, and I want to see him sacked a couple times too. I believe if he gets sacked a couple times, I believe he's going to get rattled. He has to be frustrated now to have all those completions early in the first two football games, and here we are in the second quarter. He has not gotten one.
I think you'll agree the Blount's offensive line has done a good job of forcing the Tigers wide, giving James a lane that he can step up in the pocket.
Well, they're big bodies up front, real big bodies.
Nobody in the backfield, two tight ends in here on third down, and back to pass is James, and this time he's rushed and he's hit again by Brian Simon. First Kelsey Bolton, and then Brian Simon back at the 18-yard line. A loss of 7. Fourth down on the sack.
Coverage sack. You call that a coverage sack. He was trying to get the football to number 13, and James Nettles had him covered like a blanket. But you know, probably the two best football players, just with athletic ability in this football team right now, it's Cisco Kelly and Kenny Johnson because of their versatility in other sports. And those two gentlemen playing cornerbacks have shut down the outstanding Blount Leopard receivers.
When's the last time Moss Point had a two-way player?
Probably Kenny Johnson.
What a boot this time by Green. It bounces at the 30. The Tigers, well, Nettles decides to pick it up, and he gets out to about the 34-yard line. 5-yard return after a booming kick of 53 yards by DeAndre Green.
Well, they got him out of a big hole, but the way the Moss Point offense has been moving the football, it just means now with 9:40 to go, you need about a 5-minute drive, get the ball down and score you another touchdown. And that definitely will take a lot of the starch out of the people from Pritchard, Alabama.
Tate and Sellers are your backmates on first down, and Fant will give it to Tate, and Tate stood up and thrown back. The linebacker, Jared Ellis, closed that hole in a big hurry.
And just don't forget what got Morris Point down close the first time was Sammy Smith, the tight end. Right now, the Blount Leopards are still selling out. They feel they have to stop the running game. But I'm looking at Malone and McNeil. They have their hands all on their hips. It's still very human on that football field. And I believe that they're starting to get winded.
Second down and 11. Fant pitches to Sellers going right. Sellers with a little speed across the 35. Out to about the 37-yard line. For Sellers, that's 3, maybe even 4.
I wish you could really look at Malone and McNeil. The last play, Malone didn't even get down in the stands. He just stood up with his hands on his hip. They're getting winning. When you see a ball player walk with their hands on their hip and leaning back, they're getting tired.
Third down and we'll say 3rd and 7. And Fant drops back. Fant with time. Fant looking far down the football field. Problem was Armstead cut it up. He ran a shorter out, and it's incomplete, but there's a penalty flag at the 35, and it will be holding on the Tigers.
Hold on, Tigers. Let's see what Blount does. They're going to probably decline it. They're not going to get Morris for another opportunity. But Keith Tate at the running back down the center of the field was open.
And Fant had all sorts of time there.
Blount cannot keep 7 men in the box and expect their defensive backs to cover the Tigers one-on-one. They talk about the Leopard receivers. The Moss Point Tigers have some good receivers as well.
And now it's Mario Jackson who drops back with Williams. Tigers are missing a punter. They had everything but a punter out there.
I was trying to figure out what's going on here.
I thought maybe they were running some sort of fake. And now the Tigers have to burn a timeout with 8:29 left. That's the second Tiger timeout here in the first half. We'll take one as well. 6-0 Tigers on Marcus Cable Channel 13.
In this ever-changing world, it's comforting to know that some things stay the same. Singing River Federal Credit Union has served our members for over 43 years. We offer a complete selection of financial services. As we embark upon a generation of new technology and services, be assured that we will always be here to meet your needs.
We are proud of our history, and we are excited about our future. Come grow with us. We are Singing River Federal Credit Union. People helping.
In punt formation for the Tigers, standing at about his 22.5-yard line. It's 4th down and 7. And a couple of dangerous return men are standing at the 30. Perfect snap, and there's the kick by Nettles. Another high kick. This one a little shorter. Bounces at the 37, and it takes a Tiger bounce. And Hawkins would have been better off letting it bounce a little further as he downs it at the 34.
Yeah, find out what's going to happen. When that ball hit, sometime it'll take off and give you 10, 12 more yards.
So from the 34-yard line, it's 1st and 10, Blount, as the Tiger defense comes out for the 4th time tonight. So far, the Tiger defense has given up a whopping 2 yards. 2 yards on the ground and nothing through the air. Officials stop play for a second. The scoreboard had flickered for a minute. I think they've got everything back in working order, though.
Again, another reason.
And now the scoreboard goes off, and then it goes on. And now it goes off, and now it goes.
Now we're not staging this now.
No.
That's what that clock will do. When you get old, sometimes you don't work as well. And all of the sports fans that we have, Morris Point Tiger fans, we need to start talking to the school board again. And that's if we ever spent some money that was useful. People talk about this as just sports, but let me tell you, it takes care of itself. It gives them enjoyment. It gives a lot of young people the opportunity to go further in life, to get an education. Without our scholarships, some of our young men would never have the opportunity to go to colleges. We saw all of those young men before the ball game, Brad, and every one of them is in college somewhere because of a scholarship for playing football for the Morris Point Tigers.
You know, remember this. I realize it's a brand new school, but Goche High has a brand new football field. Don't they?
Well, no, they're playing right now at War Memorial Stadium in Pascagoula, but they have already started and negotiated talking about that to be able to stay on that side of the river. It's time for the Morris Point Tigers. This stadium's been around a long time. Renovated after Hurricane Frederick, and we know that was in 1979.
3 receivers on 1st down, I formation. Franklin the handoff. He looked for running room, and he really couldn't find it. He got across the 35 to the 36, but it was J.M. Mitchell and Cornelius Borden to make the tackle.
And that's the first running play. Now you expect 2 passes. That's what the defensive coaches from Morris Point expected. If they run on 1st down, you almost expect 2nd and 3rd down. And that's how they make their calls. 1st down is the only unknown down. After that down, that's when the Tigers defensive coaches, Luke Kirkendall, Jackie McCarver, John Toms, they know what to start probably getting into.
It's 2nd down and 8, and again, I formation. 2 receivers are to the near side. 1 is wide left. James will pitch the ball. Franklin slipped a little as he started to make his cut, and he got out to the 39-yard line. Mitchell again along with Nettles, James Nettles, to make the tackle. It's 3rd down and 6.
Ben Harris is getting out of his, right now has gotten out of his regular offense, and that he hadn't been able to throw the football. And this is the only way that he's trying to relax his quarterback, Tyrone James. And you expect him to try to throw just something short eventually to try to get 1 completion under his belt. They say once a quarterback gets 1 completion, then he becomes a hot quarterback.
Well, he's 0 of 5 right now, and he's been sacked once. 3rd down, 6. A lot of confusion on the Blount side of the field, and Blount will take its final timeout of the 1st half with 6:55 remaining in the 2nd. It's Moss Point 6, Blount nothing on Marcus, Cable Channel 13.
I had no fear. The biggest linebacker, the fastest corner could touch me. The end zone, I owned it. I never saw it coming. I'll never forget the noise, and I'll never forget the pain. My future was at stake. I wanted the best. Health south, surgery, rehab, and hours of hard work. But now I'm back, ready to rock your world. Give me the ball.
Has 6 locations to serve the Jackson County area. Friendly service, patient counseling, glucose monitoring. Newest location is Escataba across from the Piggly Wiggly. Stop by and say hello at Save Rex Drugstores in Jackson County. 6:55 left here in the 2nd quarter of play. It's Moss Point up by a 6-0 score. The Leopards of Blount face a 3rd down and 6 from the 38-yard line.
Blount just want a 1st down any kind of way they can get it right now. And they're in a lot different set. Double tight end, 2 running backs. You don't see that too often.
James split back, third down, short pass. It's an out pattern, and it's complete. And Green dives for the first down and gets it at the 45-yard line. And that's just good athleticism by number 86, who was stopped about a half-yard short, but made a beautiful dive and got the first.
Well, credit Kenneth Johnson, though, even though he got the first down, Kenneth Johnson didn't turn loose. He held on to make sure that the first down was all that Green could get.
Second first down in the game, first completion in the game for James. It's of 7 yards. And from the 45, it's first down and 10. And the handoff is to the fullback. Antoine Lott got to the 47. He got 2.
In the whole middle of the Morris Point defensive line, Brian Simon, number 1, and Cornelius Barton always seems to be the last man in the first 3 games of this year, is the last man to get off the bottom of the pile.
And we're going to have yet another timeout. This one a heat timeout with 6:05 left in the second. Moss Point 6, Blount nothing on Marcus, Cable Channel 13.
I had no fear. The biggest linebacker, the fastest corner could touch. The end zone, I owned it. I never saw it coming. I'll never forget the noise, and I'll never forget the pain. My future was at stake. I wanted the best. Health south, surgery, rehab, and hours of hard work. But now I'm back, ready to rock your world. Give me the ball.
It's a hot, humid Friday night for football here in Moss Point. Perfect weather for Moss Point and Blount.
Is that what you call it? Well, while we have this break again, let's don't forget on September the 23rd, this coming Tuesday night, there's going to be a meeting of the adults for the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. This chapter, trying to start a chapter in Jackson County. This is for adults. The meeting is going to be held at 7:30 at the Pascagoula City Library. Ask all you that are interested in coming out to please come out. We want to congratulate Coach Kirkendall again as the sponsor of FCC on the Fred the Pole day that they had a couple of weeks ago. It was very successful, made national, or not national, but local news.
Second down and 8 for James. Sends a man in motion. It's Lott, and the handoff is to Franklin, who looks for running room and finds a little. But it was Vivens who shut it down along with number 92, Kelsey Bolton at midfield. It's third down and 5.
They're in a big 5. Blount has told them this is not the Blount. I know there are fans over there say, why are we throwing the football? But you have to remember, you have not completed but one pass before this drive, and the Morris Point Tigers defense has really answered the test whether or not Blount can be stopped. So far, they haven't just slowed them down. They've really just stopped them.
4 receivers. The fullback, Lott, stays in the game behind James. 5 minutes, 5 seconds remaining in the second. Back to pass with the rush coming. James off his back foot. He throws a completion down to the 29-yard line where he hit Jasmine Chestang. A gain of 21 and a first down.
That's why you don't let a team like Blount stay around all too long in a football game, because they have big strike capabilities. They can come back and score in a hurry on you.
First and 10, and James literally threw that off his back foot.
Well, that's why the pressure from Morris Plains got to be someone up the middle every play to force James to not just sit in the pocket. Anytime you have 4 receivers, someone's going to eventually get open if you give the quarterback enough time.
Is James the only quarterback not to wear socks that you've ever seen? First down, it's Franklin. He got away from Mitchell, dances to the outside, and instead of losing a yard, he got 5.
Probably not. Oh, my goodness. James tried to pump his line up, but he actually has black socks on.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, they're black socks, but he has them rolled down. And we're really purple, I would guess, from this vantage point. They look like he doesn't have any, but they'll roll way down, I guess, just to give the cool look.
Second down and a long 5. We'll say second and 6. It's that long. James with the I formation gives it to Franklin again. Starts inside, gets to the outside, has speed to the 20 before Cisco Kelly brings him down at the 18. And that'll be enough for another first down.
Well, the running game that we did not think that Blount had, and they still have not been that great at it, but again, the Morris Point defense has been on the field a long time on this series, and they appear to maybe getting a little winded as well.
This drive has lasted almost 5 minutes. It's 1st and 10 from the 18, and now it's the Tiger defensive linemen who are in the crouch waiting for Blount to come to the line of scrimmage. 1st and 10. Blount fans starting to make some noise. Is James back? He's hit as he throws to the end zone to Chesting. Incomplete. Covered well by Cisco Kelly.
It appeared that Chesting was open, and James knew he had him open, but Cisco closed in a hurry. Cisco closed in a hurry, and he got his hands up there with enough to disrupt Chesting's concentration.
You're right about this. All you got to do is complete one to become a hot quarterback, because he certainly seems to be in a better groove now than he was just a few minutes ago.
And his offensive line has picked it up a little bit. They're giving him that extra second that he didn't have earlier.
2nd down and 10. The ball's at the 18-yard line. It's 6-0 Moss Point. 3:18 left in the 2nd quarter.
Need pressure this time.
Audible at the line of scrimmage, and Blount couldn't get it off. Delay a game will make it 2nd and 15.
He was trying to clear Green something, number 86, and Green didn't really, wasn't paying a lot of attention to him, and that messed the play up. That's a big 5 yards there.
So it's 2nd down, 15 yards to go.
And let's don't forget, Brad, that the Blount Leopards have used all 3 of their timeouts by our count.
Oh, they have. That's why they weren't able to call one there. 2 receivers go left, 2 come to the right. Hawkins is in the game at a DB position. Nettles. Back to pass. Across the middle to Chesting, high and incomplete. Hawkins on the coverage. And again, James was backpedaling as he threw the football.
Well, because he saw number 97 coming at him, then he got the ball off. Tried to get the ball high. Thought he was open last time. One reason he's a little shorter than Chesting, but number 98 for the Tigers, Cornelius Boyden, his middle linebacker, had dropped back into coverage, made him have to loft the ball a little bit more.
Fabian Johnny replaces Lakeith Grace on this 3rd down. 3rd and 15.
Tigers looking for a big rush now from Johnny, number 45.
Cisco Kelly not in the game on defense as they go shotgun. 5 receivers for 4 in the pattern. Tigers blitz and a fumble. Fumble picked up by Borden at the 34. Oh, they're going to say an incomplete pass. Borden will score with speed, but the officials are going to rule it an incomplete pass. And down at the 35-yard line is the quarterback, James.
Wow, wow, wow.
And I think it was a good call.
It appeared that he had, and if Ken DeVito had any replay, that would be a good one that we could have. And that we don't know who the 2nd quarterback may be for the Blount Leopards, because with Mr. James down, we don't know, and it's going to bring up a 4th down and 15, whoever has to come off the bench.
Moss Point put heavy pressure on the quarterback, James, and got to him. I'm not sure which Tiger it was that got there. James got away. Here's the low-angle version of it as James pressured, and it was Brian Simon. He was, and the ball just went right to the ground. He was throwing it.
And also, it appeared that J.M. Mitchell, Clarence, can we do it one more time? I know. We're going to put a lot of pressure. See, we got a little time right now while James is down. But it was the inside man, I think, that really laid the blow on him. To see,
there's Simon from the outside. It was Mitchell who just pulverized the quarterback at the 34-yard line, but his arm was indeed coming forward, and it was a good call by the referee.
Oh, great call. We can't argue with that, but that's exactly what the Moss Point Tigers wanted. They wanted pressure on the quarterback. They put pressure on him. This is where your timeouts are important. If Blount had one more timeout, they could call timeout, and then they could put him back in the football game. It appears that Green is going to be the quarterback, number 86.
DeAndre Green is the punter and the receiver. Maybe they'll try a field goal. If they do, it'll be from 40 yards.
They're going.
No, they're going to go with Green at quarterback and 4 receivers. The only back is Lott on 4th and 15.
Don't relax, defense.
And a penalty flag comes down. And somebody was
mouthpiece. I'm sorry. It was a mouthpiece on number 4, Kennard Williams. And you can see it after it happened. Number 6 got upset, but you can see Kennard Williams even after then start putting the mouthpiece back in his mouth, and that's a penalty. Once the center touches the football, all equipment has to be in place, and the mouthpiece was not in place.
So it's now 4th down and 20. And James will come back into the football game after being down just a play before.
He can't do that. He cannot do that. He cannot do that.
The officials are telling him he can't do that because a play hadn't been
A play has not been run. That's right. Good play, bit. Coach Harris tried to pull a fast one, but the officials, as usual, on top of the game.
DeAndre Green, number 86. Gonna quarterback in here on 4th and 20. 3:07 on the clock. Just don't let a defender get behind you. The lefty back. He sets, he fires to the end zone. Man is there, incomplete. They had 2 men there, but Kenny Johnson broke it up, and the Tigers hold on downs. Hawkins was a defender as well.
And had the ball been caught, it would have been not any good because it was out of the end zone.
Tiger defense holds. After a drive that was 5 minutes and 19 seconds.
That has not happened to the Blount Leopards too many times in recent years, and the Morris Point Tigers now on offense have to come out with 3 minutes to go in the first half. What are they going to do? Are they going to sit on it, or are they going to try to put something on the board?
No, I bet they go no huddle. Fant on 1st down gives it on a misdirection play to Sellers, who may have put the ball on the turf. This would be devastating if Blount has recovered the fumble, and it has. The Leopards pounce on a fumble at the 32.
That's a great defensive stand. You're asking the defense to do it again, and James will come back at quarterback here.
From the 32-yard line.
When they uncovered it, we weren't even looking at the screen. We were trying to sit on the field.
1st down and 10. The Tiger defense has to be exhausted.
9-second rest. They really got to reach down deep right now. Well, let's get a turnover right back.
Blount will go 4 receivers. DeAndre Green is in the slot right. James back, blitzes on, screen set up, it's a good call. Franklin with the catch, 1 man to beat, he gets to the corner and goes out of bounds. The Tigers brought the kitchen sink, and Blount threw a screen.
Had the perfect play call against the defense that the Morris Point Tigers were in.
The ball is at the 12, it's a 20-yard gain.
After a great defensive stand, that's one of the things that really you shoot yourself in the foot, is to be able to turn the football over. But this is still the first half, and we're past an hour and 5 minutes of the first half, Brad. We got another delay for some reason. And now the referees blow it for play. We don't know what the delay was.
It's 1st and 10.
I think they send the kitchen sink again, because they're going to run this football on this play and try to make something happen in the backfield.
James is going to throw the fade to the end zone. DeAndre Green incomplete. 2nd down and 10.
But DeAndre Green just stopped running, and had he kept running on that fade pattern, he appeared to be open.
Coverage of the play by Cisco Kelly.
Normally, when they're in our formation, you almost expect them to run the football. Ben Harris is trying to mix it up a lot more than what he had earlier, given formations that he normally runs from, and he's throwing the football.
Again, it was a rare opportunity last week for the coaching staff to actually scout a game. Because Moss Point played on Thursday, Blount didn't have a game till Friday, so the entire coaching staff got to watch the Moss Point offense and defense in live action. Second down, kitchen sink coming, draw play call, Tiger defense buries the running back Franklin, and the tackle was by number 91, and that's Samson Smith.
Well, Brian Simon was in. I thought that was number 61. That's
was it 61? I'm sorry,
61
Brian
in.
Simon.
And number 9, Kendrick Bivens, the linebacker.
Third down and 13. Back to pass James. He sets, 5-man rush. He throws to the end zone. It's incomplete. Terrific coverage by Cisco Kelly as the wide receiver on that play, number 82, Alfred Blakely, slipped in the middle of the end zone.
And James will spread the ball around. He has thrown the ball to every receiver, I think, in Pritchard, Alabama. He's thrown it to everybody that came over, and probably some that didn't come over the way he's throwing the football, but to no avail.
Oh, by the way, the newspaper all week, Sun Herald, has been saying Mobile Blount all week.
That irritates the people. I'm going to tell you that. They get very upset about that.
Fourth down. Shotgun formation. James gets away from the first rush. Now throws across the middle. Incomplete. He short hopped the man he was going to, and that was Chestang. Tiger defense again holds on downs.
Defensive pressure like they've never seen before. And you can see what the scouting report said, Brad, is that you make James run, he gets a little rattled. He does not throw on the run very well. But you talked about Blount coaches have an opportunity to see Morris Point. Don't forget that Morris Point didn't have a game last Friday, so they traveled to Robertsdale and had an opportunity to look at the Blount football team as well.
First down 10.
Throw the bum arms there.
From the 16-yard line, 154. Wing right was Jones. They fake it to him, and they go to, well, we'll see who gets off the bottom of the pile. It was Sellers, and Sellers got 5.
Good move to get the ball back to Jarvis. And I think
same thing.
I think what you do right now is to try to run the clock out. You know, 6-0. If you try to do something fancy, we've dodged 2 bullets here in the last couple of minutes. We have not let Blount score any points. Let's try to go in with a 6-0 lead and make Blount have to make more adjustments than us.
6 years together, I've never heard you say that before. And second down, gives it to Keith Tate, and Tate is swarmed under. In fact, he lost a yard, and they'll bring up 3rd down and 6.
Well, you have to be smart. Right. This Blount is a high-powered offense. They don't average 40-plus points a game for nothing. You can see the potential is there. Several times they've had receivers wide open. But because of the pass rush, mostly from the Tigers' defense, especially the ends, they have not been able to complete it.
Would you guess that they're going to run a few more screen passes in the second half?
Oh yeah, yes. They're going to try to outguess Morris Point on the defense, especially when the linebackers are coming.
I formation, 3rd down, pitches to Keith Tate. Keith Tate puts his head down. Probably lost a yard again, but the clock has reached 30 seconds and counting, and if the officials take long enough, the Tigers won't have to snap the ball again.
They don't have to snap it now. That ball hadn't even been marked for play. Now it's marked for play. Just stay in. Just stay in the huddle. You don't have to get out.
And so we are at halftime at Dantzler Stadium in Moss Point in a tight contest. And what would you expect from 2 rivals, I guess, since they live so close to each other? At halftime, it's Moss Point 6 and Blount nothing. You're watching Tiger Football 97 on Marcus, Cable Channel 13.
Did you know that complications of flu and pneumonia is the 6th leading cause of death? Did you know that vaccines to help prevent flu and pneumonia are available? Did you know that if you have Medicare Part B, the cost of flu and pneumonia vaccines are free? If you're 65 years of age or older, have heart disease, lung disease, diabetes, or any other chronic illness, then you should have the flu shot. Get the flu shot, not the flu. Phone MediMart Pharmacy for more information. Safex pharmacists have been serving Jackson County with 6 locations for over 30 years. Competent pharmacists provide professional services where the well-being of each patient is their primary concern. Shop our newest location in Escatawpa for individualized professional services and enjoy shopping our gift and cards department at your home-owned Escatawpa top of favorite pharmacy.
In this ever-changing world, it's comforting to know that some things stay the same. Singing River Federal Credit Union has served our members for over 43 years. We offer a complete selection of financial services. As we embark upon a generation of new technology and services, be assured that we will always be here to meet your needs.
We are proud of our history, and we are excited about our future. Come grow with us. We are Singing River Federal Credit Union. People helping people.
I started volunteer in 1971. Basically, I made 95% of the practices and hadn't missed a game in 15 years.
There's no individuals on this team. It's so much it's teamwork. We don't even have a number 1 jersey on this team because it's the individual number.
It's a team effort here at Moss Point High School and a team effort at the International Paper Company. But the International itself is a community-minded company. I just happen to be a part of both organizations. It's nothing but love over here for everybody over here.
I have no fear. The big the biggest linebacker, the fastest corner can touch. The end zone, I owned it. I never saw it coming. I'll never forget the noise, and I'll never forget the pain. My future was at stake. I wanted the best. Health South, surgery, rehab, and hours of hard work. But now I'm back, ready to rock your world. Give me the ball.
I think everybody who plays sports has got somebody that you look back on that coaching-wise that they can say has a big influence on their life, which is like for them one day, you know, to be an influence on their lives. All the way through life, they're going to have that teamwork, no matter what they're doing, what field they're going to. There's nobody going to make it by themselves. At the field, we all depend on each other. Anywhere from safety on down to doing the work. I mean, it's just everybody's involved. It takes a total team effort.
What is sickle cell disease? What is sickle cell trait? Who's at risk? I'm Glenn Terman with Kaja, poster child for the Sickle Cell Disease Association of America. And thousands, Kaja lived a normal life until the pain of sickle cell disease strikes. The cycle will continue until a cure is found. To get the facts to find out what you can do to help, call this toll-free number. Break the sickle cycle.
Cashing checks has never been so simple as you...
an explosive Blount offense. Second down, short hand up to Cisco right up the middle. Cisco to the 40, still on his feet. He's at the 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown Tigers, a 60-yard dash by Cisco Kelly.
And Morris Point has got to go for 2. They need to go for 2. They need to stop celebrating. The offensive line, everybody's coming off, but they've got to go for 2. Don't forget, we missed the first extra point, but that was the Cisco man coming alive.
They went with the quick hitter to Cisco right up the gut, and he got through, made a move, got to the outside, and showed his speed. And Keith Tate will replace Cisco, who gets a well-deserved shake of the hand by Jerry Alexander.
That showed enough put the Blount Leopards back on their feet then.
Now it's Sellers and Tate going for 2, going to the corner of the end zone. Armstead is there and he's got it. Armstead with the reception and a great move by Armstead and a good pass by the quarterback Fant. He threw it out there and let Armstead be the one to adjust.
And that was a good pass. The defensive man had good coverage. And Kevin, that's the quarterback knowing his receiver. He knew Jason Armstead could make the adjustment in mid-stride, and Jason did. Got a replay, Brad.
The second play of the second half. And that man, Cisco Kelly, got to the outside and went 60 yards into the end zone. That's 110 in the game and 2 touchdowns for number 10. First time this season that he has crossed the century mark rushing the football for Moss Point.
Complete game tonight for Cisco Kelly. He's run the football very good and played great defense on the other side of the football. Good adjustments by Coach Alexander and his staff. When they went into the coach's office after the game the other night, you can rest assured that they put themselves together and they came up with a game plan. You have people that start on the offensive side, but sometimes you have to put your good athletes in and get them on the field on both sides of the ball, and they did it. And that's telling other people down the road what they expect from Morris Point, that you in order to play this football team, you got to bring more than what's up front. You got to bring that's what down within also.
You know, last week at halftime, I'm going back and looking at the stats. I think Fant was 8 of 13 for 224 at the half, or it was either that or 7 of 11 for 185. Either way, he threw the ball a lot, and today he hasn't thrown it much. From the 8-yard line, it's Williams looking for running room, and he gets out to the 30-yard line. Hawkins was there to make the tackle, along with Brian Simon.
Defense last week gave Morris Point the throw. They gave him the pass. This week, Blount is trying to play the run more so, and they did see the pass as well, too. So you have safeties that are well out of the football game here in that set, though, that Morris Point just scored. They were like in a box 8. But once you in a box, once you break the line of scrimmage, there is no safety back there that can come up.
Tyrone James, number 18, is the quarterback. 3 of 15 in this game for 48 yards. Franklin is his deep back, and Franklin on first down fumbled the football, but was able to fall on it back at the 29. He lost a yard. I don't think he knew he was getting the football.
I think he's been hit so hard and so many times. I don't know how many yards he has.
He's got 22 in the game.
22 yards. That means he's being hit a lot and often and probably hard. We know how the Morris Point Tigers can hit, and what he was looking for was a hole to dance through, and there was none. And he got the most important thing for a running back when he's running the football. That's the ball.
You need the pigskin.
You got to have it.
No question about that. Second down and 11. Two receivers on this set. Back to pass. James looks to the outside. He's got Williams at the 30. Williams breaks a tackle, cuts it back to the middle of the field, and gets out to the 43-yard line. Nettles is the one who stopped him after a gain of 14.
Even though Kenny Johnson did not make the tackle, what he did was he forced him back to the inside with the speed of the defense. Morris Point Tigers last week, James Nettles had about 12, 13 tackles for the Morris Point defense, so he's a pretty sure tackler, and he ran him right back where James Nettles and company could put some leather on him.
Moss Point 14, Blount nothing as we just begin the third quarter of play here from Dantzler Stadium on a hot, humid, steamy, sticky night for football. Forget I said good football weather earlier. First down, James pumps, and now going long. And down goes the receiver. Woodson and he collided, and the officials are not going to throw a flag. And the far sidelines cannot believe it.
And I don't know. I'm not going to say I don't know why not, but the official is telling the coaching staff something. I don't know what.
Well, they ran the pump and go.
And it could be that the defensive man stopped and the offensive man took off. And when he took off, he just ran over the defensive man.
That'd be an offensive foul in basketball.
That's right. So,
2nd and 10, and Cisco is in the game. He's guarding the very dangerous Kennard Williams on the far side of the field. Shotgun formation, 2 tight ends, back to pass James. Blitz is on. He gets to the outside. He's hit as he throws, short, incomplete. 3rd down and 10.
We got a roughing the passer.
Roughing the passer penalty will be called against the Tigers.
Got to go, but I'm gonna tell you, I have to check the rules on it. He was out of the pocket. When he's out of the pocket scrambling, in many instances in football, that is not considered a penalty unless there's a blow to the head.
Or he hit him late.
But he called roughing the passer.
15-yard walk-off, 1st down.
But good defensive pressure again by the Morris Point defense. They're forcing the Blount Leopards to do the things that they're not accustomed to doing. That's be on their heels a lot.
Put the ball at the Tigers' 41-yard line, 1st down 10.
No running back.
James, 5-step drop. Rush is coming from his blind side across the middle. And Nettles is the one who's going to make the tackle as Chestang makes the reception, 14 yards.
If you think the first half was long, this second half is definitely going to be long. I don't look to see Blount run the football too many times unless the ball gets to the 5-yard line.
James Nettles is sitting on the 27-yard line far side, and the training staff must come out and take a look at him.
And he seated up. We just hope there's not too serious. James Nettles is the leader of the defensive backs back there. We definitely don't need James Nettles out of the football game.
It's 14-0 Tigers. They scored in the first quarter. Correction, on the second play of the second quarter when Cisco Kelly went 14 yards, bouncing it to the outside and showing speed to the corner. He missed the extra point. It was 6-0. And here on the second play of the second half, Cisco goes 60 yards from left to right. The 2-point conversion on a pass from Fant to Armstead made it 14-0, and that's where we stand with 9:14 left in the 3rd.
And Tiger fans, next week is the opening of the zone play, the district play. All of you that came out tonight, we need you to be in your cars, put your flags on, and let's get ready to travel to Biloxi next week. Brad, first time in, I guess, in the broadcast history, a candid video for next week. You've missed a game, and I've missed one periodically. It'll be the first time that both of us will be gone at the same time.
So we were thinking about pulling that NBC trick from Miami and the Jets years ago and going with the silent broadcast. I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that would rather hear us shut up anyway. But I know Clarence has a couple of very fine gentlemen who are going to be sitting in our chairs next week and bring the Tigers home from Biloxi with a victory.
Need that first district game.
Clarence says that silent game was boring. I remember it too. 3 receivers near side. Blitz is on. And then James goes down back at the 46-yard line. Look, Keith Grace had him and lost him. And actually, that was a benefit because Bivens came in and got him for another yard loss.
That's right, and that's the pressure. When you sell out, when you put all your 4 receivers out, you don't have any running back. The quarterback has absolutely no help. You've got 5 offensive linemen. When you got the 5 defensive linemen down, you send 1 linebacker. That's 1 more that you can count. And the Morris Point defense had the right defense call for the play. Talking to the coaches, Coach John Thomas coming up said one of the defensive adjustments, when they have a fullback in the football game, they have to account for him. Remember that screen play? And that's why I think you see Franklin back in the football game now.
18-yard loss, 2nd and 28. They stretch James Nettles' hamstring or calf on the near sideline. Blitz coming again. They do set up the screen to Franklin. Bolton missed him at the 48. Franklin gets down the sidelines, and then it's driven down by who else? Cisco Kelly at the 35 after a 10-yard pickup.
And you know, it might be a first. It might be a first coming up next week for Morris Point for players of the game. The offensive player of the game, Francisco Kelly. The defensive player of the game, Francisco Kelly.
He has played a whale of a game tonight.
It's been a team effort on the defensive side. We talk about Cisco, but James Nettles, Marcus Woodson, and Kenny Johnson, I really believe, set the tone early on the first couple of pass plays that they tried to get the ball to Kennard Johnson. He almost had INTs on both of those.
And don't forget, J.M. Mitchell has controlled the middle of the line of scrimmage. 3rd down, 18 from the 35. They got to get to the 17. James again back to pass, rushes on, steps up in the pocket, fires to the end zone. Green is there, touchdown Blount. Green beat Hawkins, and they score from 35.
Knowing they were going to throw the ball long, and that's what the coaching staff has been teaching the defensive backs all week, that they're going to throw the ball long. They don't like to throw the ball short. And when they're in that 3 set, only thing you have to do is get off. As long as they're running, you run with them. You don't stop and bite no fake on, especially with the quarterback backpedaling. Big PAT try right now.
Abraham Belt, number 35, the soccer-style kicker, will try it. It's a good snap from center, and it is no good. He missed it to the right. So it's 14-6. The Tigers lead by 8.
That just means that the offense just needs to shack house again. Go ahead, button the chin straps down, offensive lineman, get back into it. The defensive line played great on that series of downs. The defensive backs played pretty decent. They just got bit just a little bit, and I see Cisco have his hamstring stretched a little bit. They've got to be tight right now, going on a humid night from offense and defense, but they need him in this football game.
7 plays, 70 yards. It ate up 358. The PAT is no good. It's 14-6. Moss Point leads by 8.
And looking at the people that's coming out for Blount, I see a lot of receiver and low numbers that's coming out on this kickoff team. You have to always keep your eyes open for onside kick. Blount has not been really able to stop the Moss Point offense tonight, even though they've only scored 14 points. But when it comes to total yards, you'll see Moss Point has totally dominated the football game. But they have to keep their eyes open right now for anything that Blount would try anything. Ben Harris is from the SWAC, Alabama State. And here, the SWAC schools coaches will try anything at any time.
Well, let's see. Now they kick it away, and it goes to Jones from the 5. He cuts in front of Tate because he wanted the football. And Jones looking for running room and cannot get back to the 20-yard line. He got to the 19. A 15-yard return. It'll be 1st and 10 Moss Point from there.
And Kevin Fenton company need to come on out now and just reestablish some kind of offensive threats right now. Cisco is still on the sideline having his calf, having his hamstring stretched, but James Nettles is up and walking around, so he'll be back in on the defensive side for the Tigers.
First time tonight, first time in a while, I should say, that the Blount fans have had something to cheer about. The first time we've seen some enthusiasm out of the Blount players. Moss Point's going to burn a timeout here. They were missing a running back on the play. So timeout, 7 minutes remaining, 3rd quarter. The score is Moss Point 14, Blount 6 on Marcus Cable Channel 13.
Cashing checks has never been so simple as you'll find at A&B Check Cashers. We cash checks, we make photo IDs, you can even pay your Bell South telephone bill using our convenient drive-up window. We fax, we make copies, we order birth certificates, and you can even wire money any place that you wish. But mostly, we cash checks. A&B Check Cashers, 4519 Jefferson Street, Moss Point.
A&B Check Cashers, cash checks, order birth certificates, MoneyGrams, wire money anywhere, photo IDs, all at A&B Check Cashers in Jackson County. 1st and 10, Tigers from the 19-yard line. Tate joins Stellers in the backfield. Hayward Jones and Jason Armstead are the receivers for Fant. And on 1st down, they pitch it to Stellers going left, and Stellers has the corner. Stellers gets across the 30, and it's bounced out of bounds at about the 32-yard line, a 13-yard gain.
Tigers need some time off the clock now. Give their defense some rest. knocked the Blount defense back. It appeared that they come out with a lot more enthusiasm on defense after the offense got a touchdown, but the best way to take that away is just to get 4 or 5 first downs, and put the ball in the end zone.
And there is Cisco Kelly on the bench right in front of us, stretching out his legs, trying to get life back into them for the final stretch run. On first down, Fant goes this way this time. Stellers trying to get the corner. He's tripped up and taken down at the 36-yard line. And that was Robert Malone, 81, who made the diving tackle.
Really, Brad, it was 58. 58. McNeil and Malone. McNeil, we haven't called his name too many times at all. And Malone, early in this football game, we called it a lot. But recently, and many of the big yards that the Tigers have gotten has been right at where Malone is playing.
Second down and 8. And Fant back to pass. He sets. He looks to the outside. He's got Armstead at midfield. Armstead thrown down after a pickup and a first down. Pickup of 17.
They may have thrown Jason down hard, but that didn't bother Jason at all because Jason's look at, I've got the first down. And that was probably the best pass that Fant has thrown all night.
Heat timeout with 6:08 remaining in the third. Moss Point 14 and Blount 6 on Marcus. Cable Channel 13.
Cashing checks has never been so simple as you'll find at A&B Check Cashers. We cash checks, we make photo IDs, you can even pay your Bell South telephone bill using our convenient drop-up window. We fax, we make copies, we order birth certificates, and you can even wire money any place that you wish. But mostly, we cash checks. A&B Check Cashers, 4519 Jefferson Street, Moss Point.
Feeling tired too often? Have you...
There's the Tiger offense on the football field. 1st and 10 from midfield after a heat timeout. 6:08 left in the third. It's Moss Point by 8 from Dantzler Stadium, the home opener in 1997. Tate and Sellers in the I formation set. Both receivers are wide left. And it's White in motion. The pitch goes to Tate. And again, the Tigers shake it up a bit. They pitch it, and the defense went to White, and it was Tate who cut it upfield for 6.
The Blount Leopards were coached that when White takes that deep swing coming around, that he's going to get the pitch, so you go at him, and when you pitch it short, you cut it back against the grain, nothing but good yards there. Good first down play.
And that's good coaching, knowing that Blount was scouting the game in person and saw that and made the adjustment. Fant on second down. He throws to Jones, incomplete. It's a little wobbly and just a little high at the 35. It's 3rd down and 4.
It almost looked like the Blount defensive lineman jumped offside. He just timed it real good. The tight end, again, is a valuable man on this because Sammy Smith has better size than the defensive people that's playing against him. So if he goes and just turn around in a curl, he should be wide open.
Another timeout, this one called by Blount. It's a big 3rd down and 4 when we return on Marcus, Cable Channel 13.
Where industry resides harmoniously with strong traditions. A friendly city where diversity is our growth and our solid foundation. The city of Moss Point, working hard to do the right thing.
too often? Have you lost the energy to see you through the day? Does having to eat on the...
Shot in you. If you're 65 years of age or older, a person with a chronic illness, then you should play to get your flu shot this year. Flu shots are given October through December. Flu shots are paid by Medicare Part B. Flu shots are available at Metamart Pharmacy. For more information, call Metamart at 474-1011. Tigers have a 3rd down and 4 from the 44-yard line of Blount. White and Matthews, the receivers. Tate and Sellers split backs behind Fant. And the run is to Sellers, who slips and goes down. He almost dropped the football. I'm glad he went to the turf. It'll bring up a 4th and 4.
Had he kept his feet, though, he had an opportunity to get a 1st down and a lot more.
And so the Tigers will punt it away. Up 14-6 with 5 minutes left in the third. James Nettles comes in, and Williams drops deep along with Mario Jackson.
Kick it to Jackson. Don't kick it to Williams.
Good snap from center, and there's the kick. It's high and very short. It's going to bounce at the 25 and take somewhat of a Tiger bounce to the 19, maybe the 18-yard line. And you can tell Nettles is hurting. 26-yard punt.
And the good thing is Cisco still has cramps, so he's up and walking, but he won't be back in for a few minutes. They're going to have to just get out, get some liquids into him. It is a humid night. We would love to have the kind of weather we had last week in Montgomery and Crampton Bowl. That was great football weather.
That was the Crampton Bowl, and this has become the Cramping Bowl. It is I mean, you can see the stickiness, the humidity coming through the lights here at Dantzler Stadium. First down from the 18-yard line. I formation set for James and Blount. Back to pass, 3-step drop. The out pattern to Williams, makes a move at the 20, makes a second move and gets out to the 27-yard line. I think that's 9 yards for number 4.
They can't get the ball long to him, so what they're going to try to do is just get it short and try to let him use that 4-4 speed that he has.
Remember when I said the quarterback James was 3 of 15 in the first half? He is 4 of 5 in this half.
Well, he has not been that good that kind of quarterback all year, scoring those type of points and then all of a sudden just have a totally bad night. You knew he was going to start clicking. That's why you want to build up a big lead early and make him have to make perfect passes.
Terrence McClendon, number 14, is in the Tiger defensive backfield as they measure to see if it is a first down, and it's not. It's about a half dozen chain lengths short. 9-yard pickup, second down and 1.
And James Nettles was back on the sideline trying to get his legs together. They're tight.
Cisco Kelly stretching out in front of the fan. They set the chains on the far side of the football field. It's second down and just a few inches.
Well, we know that Blount can turn the football over, and that's something that the Morris Point Tiger defense really need now, is to let Blount try to run the football or something, and let somebody pounce in there and make him fumble the football.
Franklin, the deep back, Lott the up back, and the quarterback's going to keep it, and James gets right behind his center and gets to the 30-yard line. He got the 3 yards he needs. It's a first down.
Coming back in the game now for the Tigers is James Nettles, and McClendon is coming out. Cisco still trying to get those legs right on the sideline. And he's getting ready to come back in the football game. I thought they may save Cisco for the defensive side, offensive football, side of football, as long as the Blount Leopards was on this side of the 50.
And this is a problem that will probably flare up again throughout the rest of this football game. You just can't get rid of cramps on a night like this. First and 10, 30-yard line. James, 3-step drop, pumps to the outside, gets away from the rush, throws the ball deep downfield. It is incomplete. And great coverage by number 27, Woodson. Closing speed there to knock the ball away.
I mean, and Marcus Wilson played that perfect. And now he's down with a cramp. These defensive backs have to start cramping. It has been one play after another. They're sprinting almost 40 yards on every play. And that's been Harris's strategy. You just keep running defensive backs. The only difference is that the Morris Point Tigers can keep putting in different people in the football game, and other teams don't have that luxury.
J.M. Mitchell, Brian Simon come back in. Cisco Kelly is now in the game at corner. Kenny Johnson is his other corner mate. The safeties, Hawkins and Nettles. 3:33 left in a game that may not end until like 11 or 11:30 at this rate. Which is okay, because trying to leave here at Dantzler Stadium tonight is going to take us another couple of hours.
Well, we don't have to drive from Montgomery.
No, we don't, but we may get home later than we did last week.
That's right.
Last week. Did you have a nice drive back, by the way?
Real nice with Lee Portis and Pete Stringfield, who we happened to see on the way up, he followed me to Lee Porter's house. He rode to the game with me, so we had good conversation up and better conversation coming back.
Because you had a lot to talk about.
Oh, yeah, we talked back. We went over strategies. We talked about the football game. And my buddy Lee Porter is real knowledgeable. Quite naturally, he's been an official for, I said 20-some years. Lee's actually been an official for 32 years.
Wow.
And he's been a referee, one of the guys that wear the white cap for the last 14 years. And he gets a lot of the state championship games, so he gets an opportunity to more or less see some of the better teams in Alabama week in and week out.
You know, the Tiger cheerleaders for 1997 we have not acknowledged yet. They are Nikki Haney, Lindsay Weiss, Jessica Foster, Crystal Cannon, Courtney Lewis, Sherette Boulder, Emily Howell, Nikki Gibson, Kim Poole, Michelle Abston, Cece Robertson, Leslie Wells, Courtney Rodriguez, Lakeisha Fountain, and Tarika Roberts, along with Marilyn Anderson. That's your cheerleading squad for 97. Second down, 10, James. Quick screen pass to Green. Green breaks 2, 3 tackles, and then gets nailed by Cisco Kelly at the 38-yard line. Brings up a 3rd down and 2.
Williams is supposed to be his go-to man, but in this game, Moss Point has taken him totally out the game, and number 86, Green, has become the go-to guy.
3rd down and 2. They have to get to the 40. They're at the 38.
Blount's almost in 4-down territory. It's time for that big sack for the Moss Point Tigers right now.
Tigers have 7 men in the box. James, 2-step drop. He throws a screen pass to Green again, who tries to get to the outside and does. It has speed. He's tripped up and brought down. It was Johnson who made the tackle, tripping him up at the 48. Now Johnson is laying down on the turf. He got all the way to the 41. 21 yards.
And Blount is making the offensive adjustments, and Moss Point is taking away the long pass. Now Tyrone James, and through his coach, is just trying to dump the pass off and let Blount use speed, and realizing that the Moss Point Tigers defenders have been on their heels all night as far as defensive backpedaling off, that they may run into some leg problems.
2.5 minutes ago, it's now 1st and 10, Blount from Moss Point's 41. One back. They fake the screen this time. The rush is on. Fumble is picked up. Well, it was in Bolton's hands. Tigers have it inside midfield. The Tigers defense forces a fumble on the sack, and Brian Simon, I believe, recovered.
Brian Simon got it. Kelsey Bolton and J.M. Mitchell, I think, was actually the man who forced it. But the good defensive end play by Lakeith Grease and Broderick Nettles again, that's what forced it.
So they tried to fake that little screen pass, and it comes back to haunt Blount. Tigers on 1st down with Cisco Kelly back in the game inside Blount territory. And Fant will drop back. He sets, he pumps, he fires, complete to Armstead at the 38-yard line. It's a gain of 9, 2nd and 1.
Kevin had to wait a few minutes on that because hands was in the face. He didn't have a good view. And then once he got his feet set.
There's the fake as we replayed. It was actually Lakeith Grace who got in and forced the fumble that the Tigers recovered.
They don't do it any better when NBC, do they?
2nd down, 1. Handoff is to Sellers. 1st down and more across the 35. He dives to the 34. He got 5. And Cisco Kelly did a good job faking like he was getting the pitch to get a little more room for the running back.
That's right, and Jarvis Sellers has been relatively quiet tonight. The way Jarvis can keep his legs churning, you know that the defense for Blount has got to be getting tired as well. Look for Jarvis to break a tackle and put it down in the end zone.
49 yards in the game for Jarvis Sellers. 1st and 10 Tigers from inside the 35. And Kevin Fant. Rush is coming. Fant drops the football. Penalty flag now comes down. The lineman for Blount certainly jumped the snap there.
Had to be McNeil, 58. He was offside by almost 2 counts. He got the ball before Kevin Fant got the football. And what's weird about it is that the flag came out a little late. And it was obvious that he was outside. Even the Blount coaches knew that was a good call.
So it's 1st and 5 now from the 29-yard line. I formation this time goes Moss Point. Bant will give it to Cisco, who cuts it back. Cisco now to the outside. Cisco at the 20. Gets down to about the 17-yard line. 12-yard gain. First down, Tigers.
And they're just loading it up. Brad, I don't think we can say enough about Javaris Armstrong, Paul Robson, Elgin Williams. Look like, I'm trying to see who the other offensive linemen are in for Morris Point right now. But these
Carlos
guys,
James is in, number 79. 78 you called,
and
Ferris Armstrong.
Number 70, Larry Rudolph, is in at an offensive tackle position right now. These guys have done a great job for Morris Point offense tonight.
First and 10 Tigers, 19-yard line, 17-yard line, should say. And Cisco on first down. They tried a little misdirection, and he got to the 15 and picked up 2.
Scared me, Brad. I thought I saw the ball come loose.
I saw you jump. Cisco tonight, 124 yards rushing.
And the most important thing now, it's less than 40 seconds to go here in the third quarter. And Morris Point is almost in field goal range, and by the way Cisco kicked the ball last week, it'd be an easy field goal kick for him.
Cisco comes out. He's replaced by Tate on second down. They throw the football. The pass to Armstead. He breaks the tackle and dives. Touchdown! Touchdown, Tigers. 15-yard strike. Fence to Armstead.
That's the way you come and you capitalize on a turnover. You take the ball and you drive it right down the opponent's throat. The Blount Leopards are totally in shock. Now, this has not happened to them in several years. I mean, they've gone undefeated the last several years is what I'm understanding, and been state champs, and this is an adjustment that they are not used to.
They've won 16 in a row coming into tonight. It's Nettles on to try his first PAT of the year, and it is good. 24 seconds left in the third quarter of play. Moss Point strikes again. 5 plays, 48 yards, the final 15. Fant to Armstead, 21-6, Moss Point.
And I'm looking over across in the jungle. That's the section we know on the south side of the visiting sideline, about the 30. The jungle appears to be having a good time over there with the Blood fans.
And how about the fans on the near side stomping their feet?
With this enthusiasm, we know last year we challenged this crowd. If you remember, we were sort of a dead crowd. But when this enthusiasm came alive here with the Morris Point fans, then the football team came alive. So fans, you know, we get ready to district play next week. You need to come and be enthused throughout. Let our young men know how you encourage and you support them. They know you encourage them by being there, but they need your support by letting them hear you once they get on the field. When they get a little down and a little tired, that's when you have to pump them up a little bit.
Next Friday night from Yankee Stadium in Biloxi, it's Moss Point and the Biloxi Indians as Region 4 play begins. 2 weeks from tonight, the Ocean Springs Greyhounds come to Dantzler Stadium. Biloxi ranked 10th in the state. They lost to McGee last week, who was ranked 5th. Tigers are ranked 6th, moving up in the polls.
And this makes a big difference. You know, the Moss Point Tigers very easily could be 3-0, right? Or a possibility to be 3-0. This game is a long way from being over, but they have really come alive since that first ball game. A lot more enthusiasm from this football team.
Here's the Cisco Kelly boot. It's high end over end, and it goes to the 6-yard line. And that's Errol Hickenbottom, and Hickenbottom is hit. And at the bottom of the pile was Paul Robertson and Elgin Williams. It's offensive linemen making the tackle.
2 offensive linemen. Now that, you know, these offensive linemen for Morris Point, they like to hit folks too, other than on the offensive side. They got down and they go to tell Coach Jackie McCarvey, look at Coach, if you get in the crutch now, you need some defensive linemen. We're ready.
Put it at the 21-yard line. First down, 10. Blount.
Versatility is helping the Tigers now play a big part. Right now, the starting cornerback for Morris Point, who's put a lot of good licks in for the Tigers tonight, Marcus Woodson, has looked like he's about ready. He's been cramping, and he just put his head back on, so he's ready to go back in the football game.
They'll go I formation on first down with Franklin, the deep back, and they hand it off to Franklin, who finds running room, tries to get to the outside, and he's helicoptered. First hit by Terrence McClendon, and second hit by Nettles. And that's how the third quarter is going to come to an end. An 8-yard carry by Franklin. The Tigers scored twice in the third and drew 3. Lead 21-6. You're watching Tiger Football 97 on Marcus Cable Channel 13.
Cashing checks has never been so simple as you'll find at A&B Check Cashers. We cash checks, we make photo IDs, you can even pay your Bell South telephone bill using our convenient drive-up window. We fax, we make copies, we order birth certificates, and you can even wire money any place that you wish.
Becoming variable less than 10 knots. Seas 1 foot, smooth and protected waters with isolated showers. For tonight, variable winds.
Now, when the Tigers make a tackle, get up a little slower, stay on top of the running back a little longer, whoever the ball carrier is. 5-10 seconds here, start adding up. You do that 4 or 5 times, you just took a minute off the clock.
That's 27 passes in the football game by Blount, 26 of them by James, who is 12 of 26 now. He's almost at 50%. He started 0 of 5 and 2 of 10, 2 of 11. But he has picked it up. James with pressure coming from Bolton, gets away from that, rolls, looking, fires downfield, and he's got a man at the 10, maybe the 9-yard line. Chestang is the one who makes the reception.
And Byron Johnson, number 96, actually had James in his sight, and he just didn't. When you rush from the defensive end, you got to rush under control, and he was a little out of control. If you can't make the tackle yourself as the defensive end, you're supposed to force that quarterback up into the pocket where you've got a lot of help. But he let him get outside.
Jackie, a 28-yard pitch and catch there to Chestang, who's been one of the 2 big receivers tonight for the Blount Leopards.
Still a long way to go in this football game. This defense needs to, again, to stop them. It's goal to goal, and they got a long way to go. Just play tight.
From the 9, first and goal. Penalty flag comes down. Delay of game will be called against Blount.
That's how many? 3, 4 in this football game? That should not happen in the 3rd game of the year to get a delay of game called, especially in a crucial situation.
First time this year that Blount's been in a crucial situation. They cruised through the first 3 games. And they're still having trouble getting the play in as James gets into the huddle to tell his teammates what they're going to run.
Well, we can stand another delay of game now. We don't have any problem with that. And maybe they wanted a little bit more room to operate, Brad.
Wishful thinking on their part.
You got it
another
again.
Delay of game penalty comes out.
Got it again.
You and I were both looking at the umpire in the end zone, and he was getting anxious.
Well, and realize, if Blount fan, is that the quarterback went to the sideline. He stayed over there over 10 seconds with the coach. Then when he came back in, he stayed in the huddle, and then he came up the line of scrimmage and just started looking.
From the 19, first and goal. Back to pass James. He fires to the outside. He's got Green, who breaks a tackle. Green still on his feet and scores. Green has put it into the end zone. DeAndre Green, 19 yards. And it's 21-12.
Missed tackles will cost you big time. And again, Morris Point missed a tackle. They had him in his sights. As a matter of fact, they missed 2 tackles. But that Blount's going to go for 2 points, and that means that the Morris Point offense got the shack house again. Blount just came down and scored really too quick.
There's 8:37 left. Franklin is in the offset eye. They fake it to him. They're going to go to the corner of the end zone, and it's good. DeAndre Green with the diving reception. It's 21-14.
We knew Blount was not going to die easy. They're back in this football game. The Morris Point Tigers again. Offensively, they need to get Cisco, Jarvis Sellers ready, and they need to knock 5 or 6 minutes off of this clock and score, get down. A field goal would do now. But 5 minutes is the key. I think Morris Point has to get the football. Need to try to get at least 5 minutes off of the clock.
That was an 8-play, 79-yard drive. 8 up 347. 2-point conversion makes it 21-14. What I wanted to tell you is that Blount, after the second delay of game penalty, didn't huddle up. The Tigers did, and Kenny Johnson had to dash over to the far side of the football field to go cover DeAndre Green. He may have been exhausted at that point, and that may be why he was able to break the tackle.
Trying to get back, that's right, makes a difference.
21-14. An interstate battle between Moss Point and Blount.
And Moss Point, like they smell something. They run Jarvis Sellers and Sammy Smith all the way up and anticipating Blount may try out something short, but it didn't.
Now they kick it away, and it goes in and through the end zone. So the Tigers will start from the 20-yard line, and the coaching staff next to us seems a bit fired up.
Very pleased with that kickoff. They didn't want to see Moss Point running the ball back because they realized that their the Blount ball players are a little winded as well.
So who has the stamina in this terrific battle between defending state champions from their respective states? Jones and Armstead, I formation Tigers, first down. Handoff is to Sellers, and Sellers is stuck at the 19-yard line. And that was the man that you haven't called many times tonight, DeMarco McNeil.
DeMarco McNeil, he's the man who they think that as good a defensive lineman as Malone, and he finally came up big in a play.
Loss of 1, second down and 11. Moss Point now from the 19-yard line. You can hear the Blount fans on the far side of the field chanting for D. Fant drops back. Rush is coming. He spins away from it, and he's going to go down. Down at the 13-yard line in the hands of Robert Malone.
The two guys who we hadn't called their name, they talked about them. They've come back on consecutive plays and made big defensive plays. The pass was a slow developing pass, and it got Fant in trouble. He almost broke away. Sammy Smith had run free, but Kevin Fant did not have the time to try to get his feet settled and deliver the football.
It's now third down and 16 for Moss Point. The ball is at the 14.
I still think you got to look for that running back down the middle and throw the football, because there is nobody can stay with him.
They're going to run the football up the middle. Penalty flag comes down before the play.
Let's hope it's against the Blount Leopards, but I think it's actually against Moss Point.
It is offside on
not.
Blount. So we'll move it to the 19, get those 5 back, and it'll bring up a third down and 11.
And they blew the play dead quick, so the defensive line is still, McNeil is basically the one that's almost a jump every time. He's trying to anticipate the count. Now it might be time for a long count. Try to get him to jump in and get him back on his heels, get another 5-yard penalty, give yourself less than 10 yards for a first down.
Clock runs, 7:10 remaining. Fourth quarter of play from Dantzler Stadium. 21-14 Tigers. Jones is in motion. Fant back. Blitz is coming. Fant throws the screen pass to Tate. Tate with a block. Tate with a first down and more. Across the 40 to the 41-yard line. A 22-yard gain. Great call by Moss Point.
Beautiful call. They knew Blount was going to send the house at them. But what they did is they loaded up over on his side with the tight end and the 2 wide receivers. They put Hayward Jones in motion. Once they did it, they spread the defense out just that much more.
And there is another player down. This time it's a Blount Leopard who may have cramped up at the 35. Tigers with a huge first down, 1st and 10, now at the 41-yard line.
Yeah, after the sack and then Jarvis Sellers not getting anything on first down, that was a big third down call. But that's what you have to do to win football games. If you want to go back to the big dance, you have to make the third down conversions.
Fans of Moss Point Tigers would like to thank Health South Stickle Memorial Rehabilitation Center at 4105 Hospital Street in Pascagoula. Health South, a proud sponsor of Tiger football on Marcus Cable Channel 13.
And Brad, we're live, and people talk about it, but again, I still look at the fans in the stadium around here. I mean, they're 7, 8 people deep around the fence, on top of the roofs. I mean, everywhere. The people are everywhere. And this is not just tonight. I mean, even though Blount does bring a big crowd, but other teams that we play bring big crowds as well, or they won't come because they don't think the facilities are here. That facility, by expanding this facility to get more seats in here, it would pay for itself in no time, because the people are going to come. They know every Friday night, they're going to see a quality product on this field.
I'll tell you what happened tonight. Blount didn't go to the locker room at halftime. They stayed in the north end zone. And one of the many reasons they probably did that is they couldn't get to the locker room. There's too many people.
That's right. And the players would have had to go through the fans, and they just didn't know what to expect, and they didn't want to waste that 15 minutes. Of course, they didn't know halftime was going to last as long as it did. But it was a great halftime show. The Morris Point Tigers, under Mr. Ali Muhammad and his staff, they just did an incredible job. People were saying, oh, well, we know Blount's going to win the halftime show. I don't think so.
Not tonight.
I think the Morris Point Tigers walked away with the halftime show, and now they're trying to go away with this football game to have a clean sweep.
45 seconds from now, we'll have another heat timeout or somewhere in that area. It's one of the first times in 6 years you and I actually would agree that a heat timeout is necessary because the cramping has become a serious problem on both sides of the football field. From the 41, 1st and 10, fullback gets the handoff, and Sellers stayed on his feet after getting nailed at the line of scrimmage. He picked up 1. It's 2nd down and 9.
And Blount's still trying to, they realize what Morris Point is trying to do is it's going to try to run the football up the middle and try to run the clock out. That's why it becomes important now to use the speed of the Morris Point Tigers, the Jarvis Sellers, the Keith Tates, and the Cisco Kellys to get the ball outside, stretch the defense, make them have to run.
Tate and Sellers are the backs. Armstead and Jones, the receivers near side. It's Jones in motion. Tigers will hand the ball off to Tate again. Tate with the running room. Tate gets out to the 49. He's 1.5 yards short of a 1st down. And we're going to get a heat timeout with 5:54 left. In the 4th, the Tigers will have a 3rd and 2 when we come back on Marcus Cable Channel 13.
I had no fear. The biggest linebacker, the fastest corner could touch me. The end zone, I owned it. I never saw it coming. I'll never forget the noise, and I'll never forget the pain. My future was at stake. I wanted the best. Health sour, surgery, rehab, and hours of hard work. But now I'm back, ready to rock your world. Give me the ball.
Coach Bill Lee talking to the Tiger offense as the Tigers face a 3rd down and a crucial 2 yards to go with 5:54 left. Moss Point 21, Blount 14.
And I think you take your time. I mean, the clock just started. You got 25 seconds. Get that thing down to about 20 and then run your play.
Fant,
oh, yeah.
Offside.
That's right.
Kevin Fant drew the defense offside, and that'll be 1st down by penalty.
That's the easiest way to get it. There's no doubt about it. We had a bird's eye view then. There was no doubt that they got into the neutral zone. Now use the clock some more.
Mark the ball at the 46. It'll be 1st down, Tigers. Me, I fake and I go deep. 1 shot.
It's not a bad thought. It's not a bad thought at all.
White's in motion. They give it to Tate again. Tate with running room, and Tate spins his way across the 40 down to about the 37-yard line, 1/2 yard short. And every time White comes in motion, again, Blount is going for him and at the running back.
That's right. And Keith Tate, we said it before the ball game that he had to come up big in this football game, had to give Cisco time. And what this is doing, as long as they have Keith Tate on the field and he's doing good, that allows Francisco Kelly legs to get back under him in order to play defense.
Tate has 23 yards on the ground and a crucial screen pass reception on this drive for 22 yards. So he's accounted for 45 yards of offense. 2nd down 1. It's Jones in motion this time. Handoff to the fullback, and Sellers gets the 1st down and was just a Robert Malone ankle tackle away from getting 10 or 15 more.
This is what the heart of a football team. You throw the football, Mossman had to throw it on 3rd down with the screen. They got the 1st down, and now it's just been really the offensive line. Keith Tate is running the ball, Jarvis Sells is running the football, but the people that are making that happen are the 5 guys up front.
4:20 and counting. 4th quarter, Moss Point by 7, and Cisco Kelly's begging to get back in, but I think the Tigers coaching staff has decided we need you more on defense, so we do an offense tonight. Pitch is to White on 1st down. First time the receiver has gotten it, and now you see that Blount was ready for it.
Blount's ready for that play.
but you had to run it once.
Yeah, you had, and then that
keep him honest.
That might set something up now to the other side of one of the other sides right now. But you're right, Francisco is just lobbying. I could hear him, Coach, please, and if it gets to be third down, I'm almost willing to bet number 10 is going to come in the football game.
Second down 9, 1 yard gain by White. First time he's touched the ball tonight for Moss Point. Fant will pitch it to Sellers coming this side. Sellers has running room with a block from Jones across the 20 out to the 18-yard line, and that is a first down. The gain is 14 yards.
And the coaches are telling Kevin Fant right now to stay in the huddle and told him to snap the ball with about 2 seconds to go. It's 3:26 to go, and Blount has called a timeout.
Blount takes a timeout, trailing by 7 with the Tigers on the prowl. Back after this on Marcus Cable Channel 13.
Safex Pharmacies have been serving Jackson County with 6 locations for over 30 years. Competent pharmacists provide professional services where the well-being of each patient is their primary concern. Shop our newest location in Escataba for individualized professional services, and enjoy shopping our gift and cards department at your home-owned Escataba Safex Pharmacy.
In this ever-changing world, it's comforting to know that some things stay the same.
Wonderful football game between Moss Point and Blount, two teams that are giving it all they have on the football field tonight. The kind of action you can expect from the Moss Point Tigers each and every Saturday morning on Marcus Cable Channel 13. 18-yard line of Blount is where the Tigers have it. First down 10. A touchdown here, and the Tigers may solidify win number 2. Fant sends Jones in motion, gives it to Tate. Tate makes a little move. Tate gets to the 10, spins his way down to the 5-yard line. He got 13. It's first and goal to goal.
And you see, Keith Tate got fresh legs. Keith Tate hadn't been in the football game, so those steps that were a half a count slow by some of the other running backs because of their legs, Keith Tate's is a half a count quicker.
And that's important because there was a linebacker waiting for him about 2 yards after he touched the football, but he got away from him.
Just darted away from him.
First and goal from the 5. Fant sends Jones in motion. Gives it to Tate again, who is hit. Actually, the quarterback, Fant, was hit as he was handing the ball off. It's a loss, I think, of 1, and it'll be second and goal.
But it's less than 3 minutes to go. What Moss Point needs to do now is just protect that football. They're in dead field goal range, almost straight, just about 5 extra yards from being the extra point.
From the 6-yard line, Matthews and White come back in, replacing Jones and Armstead. Tate and Sellers are your backs.
Quick pitch to Sellers.
Sammy Smith comes strong left. The pitch is to Sellers. Sellers in the corner, touchdown Tigers. Jarvis Sellers gets in, and the Tigers lead by 14 with 2:15 to go. Good call, Coach.
Oh, they ran it right at Malone, and that's what you do, just like Reggie White. Most people run away from Reggie White. He hurts you. If you want to beat Reggie White, most of the time you run straight at him.
Cisco Kelly will try the point if Jerry Alexander can get him out there.
And it's an important extra point, too.
The Tigers are going to have to take a timeout. Cisco's all the way down at the opposite 30-yard line getting his shoe. We'll keep this one here as Jerry Alexander has some words for Cisco Kelly, words of encouragement. There's the touchdown run by Jarvis Sellers.
Is that a good view in that?
From the end zone, you got to love it.
The Tyrone,
low angle,
right on top of it. Tyrone and Michael down with the camera. I mean, they were right on top of the play as usual.
72 yards on the ground for Jarvis Sellers. 124 on the ground for Cisco Kelly. And Cisco is out there. Well, now he's found his shoe. There's the problem. Armstead had his shoe the whole time. He was putting somebody else's shoe on at the opposite 30.
But Jason was being prepared.
Cisco taking his sweet old time, tying it. Now in position. Here's the extra point. All that effort. The kick is no good. He missed it wide left.
That's two that way.
27-14 is the score.
Well, I'm glad we got the touchdown now instead of needing the field goal.
A left 12-play drive, 80 yards. And that drive ate up 6 minutes and 22 seconds.
Well, we wanted to give, if Blount was going to get the football back and we didn't score, we wanted to be at least 3 minutes left to give them the ball. All of their drives have been over 3 minutes. Now they've got to score 2 touchdowns in 2 minutes and 15 seconds, and I don't know that anything is possible, but we want to make, we don't think so right now.
The big play on that drive was back on the 3rd play. When on 3rd down and long, the Tigers picked up 22 yards on a screen pass to Keith Tate.
Number 21 came alive when we really needed him.
Cisco Kelly, whose legs got to be exhausted, has the ball on the tee at the 40-yard line. 3 Blount Panthers. Wait, the ball is an onside kick. It was a line drive that bounced off a Panther. A Leopard, I should say, and the Tigers have recovered.
He just mishit it.
Hawkins is the man who recovered. He definitely mishit it.
He mishit it.
A line drive right off of one of the line upbacks. Lineman for the Blount Leopards.
And Blount only has 1 time out left, so in actuality, Morris Point can almost 1 first down in this ball game is history.
Well, there's the kind of turnover you like to see.
At the right time.
2:09 left. Tigers at the line of scrimmage. Bant will give it to Sellers. Sellers with running room. Stays on his feet after a 7-yard gain, and now a penalty flag comes from the back judge, or the umpire.
Umpire probably got a little offensive holding in here, but that's just another clip. But that's just another play Morris Point has as far as time is concerned. That doesn't hurt anything there. Get 5, get a penalty. Get 5, get a penalty. That means time.
Boy, oh boy. He hit a line drive. Apparently didn't want to kick it high and far. He kicked a line drive that bounced right off the shoulder pads of one of the Blount linemen.
Well, I know one thing, that this Blount football team is going to hurt somebody before the year is out over in Alabama. They're a good football team, very well coached. But I know that other teams are going to try to look at the film tonight, what Morris Point did to stop that high-powered offense. The only thing is other teams probably can't rotate as many people in and out as what the Morris Point Tigers did tonight.
Clock running with 1:40 to go. Tigers first down and 18. They get it off right before the 25-second clock elapses. And it's Keith Tate who stays on his feet at the 40. Tate, 30, 20. He's brought down from behind at the 18-yard line. Jared Ellis, number 52, caught him. I don't know how.
And I don't know, Keith Tate probably never expected. I bet Keith's going to get ragged this week. A defensive lineman caught you.
39-yard run by Tate. And he has become a big factor in the 4th quarter, just as you asked. 1:20 remaining in the game.
The Tigers don't need any more score right now. Kevin Beck is just about nil on it.
74 yards for Tate in tonight's football game. Penalty flag from the side judge. Somebody was moving. No, somebody didn't have his mouthpiece in. Tigers leading by 13 with a 1:05 left, and here's the previous run by Keith Tate. Broke a tackle, stayed on his feet, thought he was going to pay dirt, and look at the linebacker from behind. Not just tackle him, leap on his back and bring him to the turf.
Look like one of those old wrestling moves, old bulldog.
Ball now sits at the 23-yard line where it's 1st and 15 with 45 seconds left. Sellers right up the gut to the 20. He got 3. The Tigers will probably have to run one more play.
I like calling this next play, take a knee. This is the old take a knee play.
And a timeout is called by Blount with 29 seconds remaining. That's Blount's final timeout.
And I know very disappointed coming on the field is W.C. Johnson. He's still trying to pump his defense up. W.C. was one good football player for the Morris Point Tigers. I know he didn't want to come home like this, and he is really giving a couple of his people fits on that line of scrimmage right now.
So tonight, the Moss Point Tigers get close to 275 yards rushing and 95 through the air.
Figure it out, Brad. You don't play a state championship team and you come up short. You play 2 state championship teams back to back and you win.
Says a lot. 29 seconds left. Tigers have Jones all the way back in the 35. Fant drops back, puts a knee down. And that, folks, will do it as we get under 25 seconds. The Moss Point Tigers are indeed 2-1 in 1997, and they are the champs of Alabama. Having beaten the 6A and 5A defending champions from a year ago. What a football game this was.
We got the 3A and 2A next.
Final score tonight, the Moss Point Tigers 27, the Blount Leopards 14. Jackie and I will wrap up the home opener as the Tigers celebrate at midfield. Right after this is Tiger Football 97 on Marcus, Cable Channel 13.
Safex pharmacists have been serving Jackson County with 6 locations for over 30 years. Competent pharmacists provide professional services where the well-being of each patient is their primary concern. Shop our newest location in Escatawpa for individualized professional services and enjoy shopping our gift and cards department at your home-owned Escatawpa Safex pharmacy.
In this ever-changing world, it's comforting to know that some things stay the same. Singing River Federal Credit Union has served our members for over 43 years. We offer a complete selection of financial services. As we embark upon a generation of new technology and services, be assured that we will always be here to meet your needs.
We are proud of our history, and we are excited about our future. Come grow with us. We are Singing River Federal Credit Union. People helping people.
I started volunteer in 1971. Basically, I'm at 95% of the practices and hadn't missed a game in 15 years.
There's no individuals on this team. It's so much it's teamwork. We don't even have a #1 jersey on this team because it's the individual numbers.
It's a team effort here at Moss Point High School. It's a team effort at the International Paper Company. But the International itself is a community-minded company. I just happen to be a part of both organizations. It's nothing but love over here for everybody over here.
I had no fear. The biggest linebacker, the fastest corner could touch me. The end zone, I owned it. I never saw it coming. I'll never forget the noise, and I'll never forget the pain. My future was at stake. I wanted the best. Health South, surgery, rehab, and hours of hard work. But now I'm back, ready to rock your world. Give me the ball.
I think everybody who plays sports has got somebody to look back on as coaching-wise that they can say had a big influence on their life, which is
Victorious Moss Point Tigers in the South. They will roar into region play next week on a very high note, 27-14. Winners tonight over the defending 5A champions from Alabama, the Blount Leopards, in what I guess could only be called a grudge match between Ingalls and Chevron and all the other employees that represent the two schools that work in the fine Jackson County industries.
Well, I really hate, I'm really anticipating my trip on Sunday. I'm leaving, we're going out of town, going to Ghana, West Africa for a business meeting for a couple of weeks. But for my buddies that are listening to this, you tell Billy Wheat and all the guys, Dale Beard, and all those guys from Alabama, you let them know that I'll be back about October the 5th or 6th, and boy, when I come back, we're going to have us some fun.
Yeah, you are. You know, the numbers aren't going to show it, but the Moss Point defense was smothering tonight against a potent, blunt offense. The Tigers Gave up 25 yards on the ground, which is exceptional. 226 yards through the air. 14 of 28 was the quarterback James in this football game. He threw for 2 touchdowns, one of 35 yards, one of 19 yards. But 251 yards, you think, mate, that's a lot for 26 through the air. But it really didn't seem like it, did it?
But it's when. It's when you get the yards. They didn't do them they did them in spurts, and they didn't do them consistently, play after play. On one drive, they may get 50 yards, and then that's it, no points. Then another drive, they may get 60 yards and no points. You got to put all of it together, and that's what Morris Point did, especially for running the football, is they put it together and they sprinkle in the passes to Armstead and Samuel Smith. No big passing night for Kevin Fant, but opportunity, and at the opportune time is when he hit the key pass.
Well, he came up with a 15-yard touchdown pass to Jason Armstead, the 2-point conversion to Jason Armstead, and the crucial 21-yard screen pass to Keith Tate on that last scoring drive. The Tigers only 95 yards throwing after a 250-yard performance last week by Fant, but 267 unofficial yards on the ground, 124 by Kelly, 75 by Sellers, and 74 by Keith Tate.
That's running by committee, and what the Morris Point Tigers did is they just kept going to the hot back. As they took Jarvis Sellers out the football game, Cisco picked it up. When they took Cisco out, see, that was one of the best things happened probably, Brad, is the first 2 games, everyone took Cisco Kelly out the football game. Blount saw Jarvis Sellers get those 200 and almost 300 yards in the first 2 games. So they said, well, what we need to do is take number 24 out the game. Once they took 24 out the game, it opened it up for number 10.
So how easy is it for the Moss Point Tigers to come off what I assume is an emotional victory in front of a packed house here at Dantzler Stadium? Now they go on the road, and they begin a Region 4 play against Biloxi. And you can't take that Biloxi team lightly anymore. John Williams has done a heck of a job over there putting together a football team.
Well, right, and the thing about that ball game is you're absolutely right. There's not a lot of, there are a number of people who played last year from Moss Point. Young minds get to thinking big too early. Young men, let me tell you something. Listen to your coaching staff. What happened tonight when you're looking at this game on Saturday morning, enjoy it, but that game is over. The whole idea of football seasons, especially when you have the district makeup the way we are, is to win district games, win the district championship, and get into the state playoffs. This game against Blount will give you bragging rights, but it gives you absolutely nothing when it comes down to winning the state championship. You got to start winning district games starting against Biloxi next week.
Which is the same thing we said after we lost LaGrange. That game meant nothing.
That's right.
You can't get to the playoffs until you start Region 4 play, which is next Friday night at Yankee Stadium in Biloxi with a 7:30 kickoff.
Well, Brad, I have to say this. After the loss to LaGrange, let's go back to last year. When Morris Point lost that game to Pascagoula, right, it appeared that they rallied with each other. Much credit has got to be given to Jerry Alexander and his entire staff because they rallied the football team. They just didn't take the laurels from last year, and they just didn't say, well, we've lost this ball game. They actually went down, and even in the paper, Jerry Alexander said after that loss, they had some of the best practices that he's ever seen down at the football field. That means these young men, minds and hearts, is where it need to be in there listening to the coaches. As long as they listen to the coaches, this is one of the best high school coaching staffs, not just in Mississippi, but throughout the whole country, because it's consistent every year, year in and year out.
And let me say this, it's only been 3 games, but I think this is the best coaching job this staff has done in the 6 years that we've been doing this, because they are making adjustments to their game plans that they never made before, both offensively and defensively. And it really shows each and every week. The game plans are completely different. You know what is going to come next.
And talent-wise, Morris Point, I don't want anyone to say that we're not as talented as we've been in the past, but you're missing a lot of people who came in with a lot of hype, more than 1 or 2 people. Like right now, Francisco Kelly is the big name. But other than Francisco Kelly, not a lot of people came in with a lot of big-name hype, even though Jarvis Sellers has been Mr. Steady. J.M. Mitchell is a junior. But when you look at James Nettles, this is James' first year really starting at safety, and he has really controlled that secondary. The whole secondary are new people. The linebackers, even though Cornelius Barton played a lot last year, these are new people. And you're right. I think the entire coaching staff, offensively and defensively, have done the best overall coaching job in a short period of time than what the Moss Point Tigers have seen.
Let's hope that's the first of many smiles you're looking at on the football field at Dantzler Stadium in 1997. Again, the final score tonight, Moss Point wins the interstate battle with Blount, 27-14. Jackie and I will both be gone next Friday night. Not sure who's sitting in for us, but whoever it is, they'll have the broadcast for you Saturday morning on Marcus Cable Channel 13. Our thanks to our sponsors, International Paper Company and the Moss Point Mill, Singing River Federal Credit Union, A&B Check Cashers, Save Rex Drugstores, Health South Stickle Memorial Rehabilitation Center, Metamart Pharmacy, the City of Moss Point, the employees, the Board of Aldermen, and Moss Point's mayor. Final score tonight, Moss Point 27 and Blount 14. Next Friday night, the Moss Point Tigers begin Region 4 play against the Biloxi Indians. Kickoff is at 7:30 at Yankee Stadium in Biloxi. 2 weeks from tonight, Ocean Springs comes to Dantzler Stadium. Kickoff again 7:30. Be here early, because if the crowds tonight are any indication, it's going to be tough getting to Moss Point football this football season.
That's right. And that's why, again, talk to all those people downtown with the Board of Education. And it's time for Moss Point to do a remake on the stadium. It's time for us to add some seats, enlarge the stadium, and give some improve the seating facilities here, the restroom facilities, the parking facilities. Everything just needs to be improved, because we've got a class act that's wearing that blue and white, and we need to give them some, really a class facility to play in.
Tip of the hat to Claire Sabose and everybody associated with Candy Video Productions for another outstanding job bringing Moss Point Tiger football to the people of Jackson County. Again, the final score, the Moss Point Tigers moved to 2-1 in 1997, beating the 24th ranked team in the country, the Blount Leopards, by the score of 27-14. I'm Brad Kessie along with Jackie Ellie. We bid you adieu. Tiger Football 97 is a Candy Video production in association with Marcus Cable Channel 13. We will talk to you in 2 weeks, but don't forget Moss Point football next Saturday as the Tigers play Biloxi. Good night, everybody.